Hello and welcome to the final day of the European Gymnastics Championships. Great Britain have already bagged 2 golds and 2 silvers. And with 4 more gymnasts in finals today, we have high hopes that they're going to be taking home some more. Current European champion Jake Jarman is looking for his 3rd vault title today. But it's a stacked field, including his teammate Harry Hepworth, who took Olympic bronze on this piece of apparatus last year. Mixed team silver medalist Ruby Evans has her sights on more success. She goes in the floor final. And we'll see Courtney Tulloch in the parallel bars final. He was the 3rd highest scorer in qualification. And with me in the studio to talk you through all of today's action are bars and floor prima donna Beth Tweddle and high bar maestro Sam Oldham. Welcome to you both. Now, the action is about to get underway out in Leipzig, and our first final today is the men's vault. Great Britain's Jake Jarman is the top qualifier for this one, and he caught up with Betty Glover earlier this week.
I'm in a good position where I've got an edge over the competition. One of my start values of my vault is about 4/10 higher than everyone else's. Watching back the videos from the qualifiers, I need to get those landings like nailed and just be a bit more tidy.
What a vault! That was one of the best vaults I think I've ever seen.
It's a lot easier said than done, but over the next few days I'll kind of just do some preps in the training gym and also hype myself up a little bit as well, because I need the energy to be able to run down that vault run. I'm lucky to have had a vault title in the past.
Great Britain have their first world champion on vault. Great Britain's Jake Jarman is yet again European vault champion.
I'm toying with the idea of shifting my mentality and trying to be a bit more confident in what I want to achieve. I've always said that I want to go and approach competitions with the mindset of enjoying it as much as I can, regardless of the result, but I do want to kind of be a bit more confident in my ability. I've said to people before I'd love to win a title at every major this cycle.
Well, all 3 of last year's medalists are back for this final. Last year's silver medalist Arta Dabchan and bronze medalist Nazar Chaperny will be looking to dethrone Jake, and Harry Hepworth will know the score that he needs to beat. He goes 6th out of 8. It's the ultimate test of power, speed and control. Let's see who comes out on top. So we are starting with Nazar Chaperny, who took the bronze medal last year. Gymnasts will be doing 2 vaults and the average will be taken. You watch the power here. And we're going to be starting with a very high score. He got 5.2 on difficulty as far as qualification is concerned.
And here he comes, his opening vault. Oh, and that was excellent. The handspring double front with the half turn out. He sees the floor nice and early. And really, that was an excellent execution.
It was a fantastic landing. I mean, we've talked about these bonuses that gymnasts are awarded when they stick a landing. Does that count? There was a slight bounce there in his landing.
Yeah,
Is that
doesn't
a bonus?
count at all. The gymnasts have to take the perfect, almost kill the bounce or landing, and that will gain them a 0.1. So imagine if you can stick 2 vaults, you will gain 2/10. But that little scurry, even though it's a very small deduction, won't get the bonus. And we will see a lot of those vaults in this vault final.
Great form through the air, though, Chris.
He really does have, doesn't he? Blocks up into the tight position, kicks out at exactly the right time, but actually in slow motion, it was a step and a little scurry, wasn't it?
But a huge vault, nevertheless, and it will score very well. Gymnasts are looking to get into the 9s for execution. Execution's out of 10.
Bit of a jolt there, actually, on landing as well.
But he had a good position for standing up. They don't want to have the chest too far down because that'll pick up a heavy deduction as well. But, I mean, qualified in 3rd place, so...
He did with 14.233 in the all-around. He did that vault. He got 14.766.
Well, I'd be surprised if the execution score isn't in the 9s, and it is.
14.5 for Nazar Chaponi with that first vault, but he has to do 2, and the average is taken. So consistency is the key here on vault. Great Britain's Jake Jarman will be up next, so he's already warming up. The background you can see there. Chaponi then with his 2nd vault, the 22-year-old from Ukraine.
And there has to be a different vault, but the same dynamic approach. This time it's all twisting. He turns onto the platform, up into the air, triple twist in the somersault. I think it drifted slightly to one side, but the form was excellent.
Well, was it a stuck landing as well? I mean, that was really, really clean.
It was super vaulting. Now, Chaponi has won the the bronze medal twice at European Championships.
I'll just watch this again. Fabulous in the air, good tension from the springboard. Triple twist. I would say that's a stuck landing. We'll see when the score comes up, because they have now a section for the bonus, which will really help.
I think, for me, that was a stuck landing. And actually, on the graphics yesterday, they didn't put the stuck landing, the bonus on. So you'll have to keep an eye on your score sheet, Craig, because...
well, make sure I'm looking at the right one today. Qualification scores. And generally, what's really impressive about this vault is, with the force, the legs tend to separate on the way on, but his legs were locked together. He's very efficient at twisting, as we saw yesterday.
Well, what he's done is he's absolutely piled the pressure on all of the vault finalists, because when the first finalist goes up and posts such a difficult score to beat, it really does play mind games with all of the following competitors.
It's generally sort of thought that it's a bit of a tough draw to be first, but if you can go out and lay the gauntlet down...
Bonus, no. 14.583.
Have a little look on the...
yeah, no bonus.
No bonus.
OK, so at the end of the vault runway now is Great Britain's Jake Jarman, 23 years old. He took a silver in the mixed team final earlier this week, but he is the golden boy from last year and the year before. Come on, Jake.
Well, he has this very powerful opening first vault. Watch this, 4/10s higher than everybody else.
Oh, yes!
God, look at that!
Now that's a bonus, surely.
That vault is out of 15.6.
Wow. Look, he's saying calm. He's saying calm to himself.
He's to us.
He's talking,
he's talking
to everybody, because that was phenomenal, and he knows it. He knows that was good.
That's got to be the bonus, Christine. Surely there was no absolute quiver on landing there.
No, absolute textbook. And he was so clean through the air as well. Really tight. He's powering down this runway. He's sometimes a little bit casual, but not today. Those arms came out.
Well, the form through the air, I mean, the height, the length, where do you deduct from if you're the judging panel from that?
Well, there's not a lot to deduct, is there? No. I mean, it's perfectly high, very, very powerful, clean, tight. Legs were together right from the beginning. We've seen him sometimes a bit scrappy on that first flight, but wow, what an improved vault.
I mean, I was saying before, that was one of the best vaults I've ever seen. I think he just bettered it.
Well, yeah, the other time he was slightly to one side, but he was vertical. Look at that. And this blind landing is such a difficult landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows he's right.
Yes, Jake.
It must be. I've got his lucky T-shirt on. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
he does really need to remain composed here, because he has to do 2 vaults and the average is taken. So it's not all about that first vault. They don't pick the best one. It's all about the average. So it's very important that he just focuses in on this.
And before he'd walked back up the runway, you could see him starting to say, keep calm.
Well, he's got the bonus, 9.5 on the execution. It's 15.2 for Jake Jarman's first vault. It's huge. First time we've seen a score over 15 at these championships. So it will be all on this vault now. 5.2 is the difficulty. But it needs to be good for him to retain that title. Will it be 3 in a row for Jake Jarman?
Well, it's a big second vault, double front with a half turn. He just had that big step back. You can see with his eyes thinking, did I save that then? But it was a huge, huge vault.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's very good, and you know, he like he's saying, the adrenaline rush after that first vault was huge. He had to keep himself calm,
yes.
And yeah, there was a 0.3 probably for the big step on landing, but that was fantastic vaulting. Just look how high above the platform this vault is. He hits this platform and he launches up, 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 kicks out with the turn. And actually, the direction was really good, wasn't it?
It was very good. It was just that big step on landing, which, you know, will cost him, but I don't think that's going to be too costly, I think.
I thought he'd actually stepped out of the line, so he hasn't. So that saved a 0.1. Of the 2 vaults, I think this is the vault that's improved the best. It's got a little bit more height, which gives him a lot more time to kick out and spot the floor. It will definitely go into the lead, but he'll need a good cushion because there's some good vaulters to follow.
Davtyan is next, and he too has been a 2-time European champion. It's great that the top 3 qualifiers are going first in this final. 14.733. Jake Jarman for now is in the golden chair with 6 more gymnasts to go in this final. This is Artur Davtyan of Armenia, 32 years old now, but trust me, he's still got it, this lad. A 2-time European champion, Olympic medalist as well. He's had silvers and bronze medals at the Euros too. He's got a full vault medal cabinet. Will he be adding to it today? Brace yourselves.
And one of the most consistent vaulters you'll see. Look at the speed. Oh! Now that, for sure, was a dead landing.
So the same vault that Jake did for his second vault, and that was good.
Well, actually in the Grand Prix circuit last week over the 4 vaults, I believe he got the bonus on all 4 vaults.
Wow.
And that's what he's got going for him. He is Mr. Consistent on these vaults. But he'll need every 10th if he's going to get close to Jake.
Well, he posted a 14.4 in qualification with that vault. Jake scored a 14.266 for that same vault previously.
Well, he stuck that, so the 14.4 in qualification, Matt, he didn't have the bonus.
But just a reminder, Jake scored 15.2 for his first vault.
Well, it's the extra tariff because this is beautiful vaulting, isn't it?
Yeah, ease. I mean, the way he kicks out there, just floated through the air, didn't he, the second half of that vault.
And he, you know, we've watched him vault over the years and he just does it the same every time, doesn't he? He's so well rehearsed on this.
The only thing I would pick up a little bit if I was being fussy is the separation in the legs in the double front. And he lands with his legs quite wide.
And actually, with them trying to make that dead landing and not move the feet, it accentuates.
Yeah, it does, because you can't sit them together.
Oh, very good score, 14.766 for Artur Davtyan's first vault. His second vault that he did in qualification was a similar difficulty of 5.2. So the score to beat of Jake Jarman's at the moment as an average is 14.733.
So this second vault needs to be as good as the first. Has to be different, so he can't do that same vault again. Here he goes, up into the air, massive height,
he's got a
massive
bonus.
height. Well, it is going to be very, very close here.
Wow, yes, well, he needs to sort of, yeah, oh my gosh, it's going to be very, very close. If you think of how good his last vault was,
That was
and he scored
equally as
14.7,
good.
yeah, and Jake Jarman has 14.733 at the moment in the lead.
Wow. So, I mean, he's got 2/10 just from sticking the landings, but he is a super, super consistent vaulter, isn't he? Let's just have a look again.
And he
His
will get
form
the
is
bonus.
excellent through the air. Look, wraps in. If anything, his chest is down on the landing.
It's way down.
So they
Yeah.
could say that could be as much as a 0.3. But it's half of 15.2, and there's not anywhere else really. Look,
And again, because they're really, really trying to accentuate that landing.
Yeah.
It almost, I mean, he landed with the chest a bit more up.
It negates the, yeah.
Yeah, but then he put it down in order to control the centre of his body. It's going to be very
it's going
tight.
to be very, very close.
Can Jake Jarman win this title 3 years in a row? It's going to be very, very close indeed. We know it's going down to tenths this. He's gone into the lead, 14.799. He gets the bonus on the landing. Gosh, he's literally by, what's that, 0.04?
And for the second time, we've seen this bonus mark be the difference.
So close. On we go then with the fourth gymnast in this vault final. Yaz Ramsahai.
Oh, very well done. The double front somersault without the half turn. So it's difficult to land. And had that little hop forward. Not the difficulty of the two previous vaults, but very good nevertheless.
Powering down, hitting this table.
Lovely conversion off the top with the legs really straight, but that was a deep landing, and that will gain some deductions. You can see how hard it is, how much height you need in order to do the extra half turn. But he really controlled it well.
It is actually more difficult to land than the harder vault with the half out, because normally with the half out, as you're coming round there, you can look at the floor, kick your legs out and prepare for the landing.
The only trouble is you just need that little bit more height to do the half turn as well.
Gosh, we are seeing some vaulting here. It's incredible. A 13.566 for Ramsahai's first vault. So the 22-year-old lines up for vault number 2. Feet are chalked up, shins are chalked, ready to wrap in.
Well, slightly less difficult vault. Oh, and he went for it, the double pike Sukahara. That is such a difficult vault to land, because you're in that pike position. You need to open out precisely at the right time, and if your hips are slightly behind you, there's only one way you're going, and that's a backward roll. Great to see a Dutch gymnast in this vault final, though.
Yes, and you have to do two different vaults, so he went forwards in the first one. This time he's going backwards. Here we go, snap off. And you have to really commit to letting go of the legs before your feet touch the floor. He still had hold, and you sort of create a backward roll out of it.
12 years ago was when the last time a Dutch gymnast was in the vault final, Van Claveren.
It's a nice flighty vault, this, though.
I think that vault doesn't get the credit it deserves. It is such a difficult vault. It's 2.5 somersaults from the hands in the pike position, and then opening up at the right time. You can see it just held on a little bit too long, Christine, as you said. But the problem is, if you haven't got the height, you need to hold on as long as possible.
Actually, no, it was Jeffrey Wammes in 2007.
Wammes.
Yeah, Wammes. Well, what a final we're seeing here. Everybody absolutely going all out, and Ramsahai didn't hold back with that second vault. He went even harder with the second one than the first, and there's the reward, 13.349. He's in fourth as it stands. On we go then. Next to vault is Neophytos Kyriakou, Cyprus, 26 years old. Did a 4.8 difficulty in qualification for his first vault, and then a 4.4. And here goes the Cypriot. Never had a medalist on vault.
Oh, we really went for a lot of work there. 2.5 twists off the top of the platform. Tiny step backwards, but that was respectable vaulting. Not in quite the same level of the first vaults we've seen.
Well, I was just going to say, he's in absolute great company, isn't he? I mean, you've got an Olympic medalist in this vault final, and on a normal day that looked a decent vault for the difficulty. Shoulder was back a little bit for that last half turn, causing him to take that little step back on the landing.
And actually he was a little bit short of the 2.5, wasn't he? When his feet landed, they were facing towards the sign rather than towards the end of the mat.
Yeah, and you can just see that little leg separation on the way on, so to just take the deductions from the springboard. With 4 phases to the vault where they can take a deduction.
13.7 for the first vault. Kyriakou will go again. Average is taken. Slightly easier this time round. And qualify 8th for this final. Vault number 2 then for Neophytos Kyriakou.
So, well landed first vault. What can he do for the second? Oh, that looked a bit light on the hands. A flip on the Yushenko entry and the double twist off. First we've seen of this gymnast at this competition, and he'll be pleased to have completed 2 good vaults.
Yes, job done, and no doubt he's had a great time. 26 years old.
Yeah, did well, Christine, actually, because he was very light on the top. You can probably see again on the slow motion. You've got to reach back really, really fast to get the block and try and block before the vertical. And you can see there, it was fingertips, so he did very, very well to wrap in a double twist.
Yes, the very first gymnasts we saw do these vaults apparently had trained them as like double straight without the platform there, and just reaching for and gradually putting the platform in so that they could actually complete the vault even if the hands didn't touch.
Yeah, it
and
was pretty much that.
Pretty much, yeah, was like that. Look, only just got the fingers.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't get the heel of the hand down at all, did he? So that second half of the vault was done off the fingertips.
Yeah, which the deduction will come on the flight off the final phase, because the judges are looking for the gymnast to pop off the top and gain the height. but a great experience for this gymnast from Cyprus.
13.550 puts Neophytos Kyriakou into fourth. You can hear Jake shouting, "Come on, Harry," and that's because Great Britain's Harry Hepworth is next to vault in this final. There's two more gymnasts after him. Got a silver in the floor final. Can he vault himself back onto the medal podium?
Oh, brilliant first vault. The double front with the half turn. Again, the British lads are so powerful, and being able to harness the power is almost as difficult as not having the power. He's such a determined and focused gymnast, is Harry.
He's a very young gymnast as well, and he's still finding his way in these finals, how much to give it. He definitely didn't want to not give it enough. And we saw him interviewed the other day saying that often in the floor finals he gives it a bit too much, and trying to learn how to just play it right.
Yeah, just 21 years old from Leeds. Up he goes, drops the shoulder. There's the half turn. And he'll have another vault as well, and his average is taken. 14.583 is the score currently in third.
That is super vaulting though, isn't it? He's so high, makes it look so easy.
14.2 for Harry's first vault. So he's going to have to go some here. And he does have some very difficult vaults in his locker. It'll be interesting to see what he goes for here.
Well, he can do a 2.5 twist and a triple twist going forward. Oh, and that was fabulous vaulting. Opted for the 2.5 twist in the straight position. That hop back, I think he'll struggle to get into the top three.
Well, it was a huge effort from Great Britain's Harry Hepworth. It's in the hands of the judges now.
And he's just so dynamic, isn't he? Sprints down that runway. Beautiful technique. He gets the hands in fast to the platform, right at the front where the springs are, wraps those 2.5 twists. Easily done. He was able to break out at the top of the vault, really.
Well, you can see that he says, "I'm working the triple twist."
Because really, he was able to break out for the landing very early there. I'm sure we're not very far away from the triple.
It's so exciting now within British gymnastics to see where this generation's going to be in 3 years' time.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yes, everybody wants to win early on, but gymnastics is a bit like a marathon rather than a sprint. And these guys have been well focused on the Olympics.
For 14.35 for Harry Hepworth, a little shrug of the shoulders. He's in fourth as it stands. 2 more to go in this vault final. Artur Davtyan leads on 14.799. Jake Jarman in second, 14.733, and Nazar Chapurni in third with 14.583. This is Sebastian Spunovic from Norway.
We've seen a bit of this guy in the mixed competition, and that was a lovely vault as well, wasn't it? These gymnasts make this handspring double front with the half turn out look so simple, but actually it's a huge vault. Years of training goes into this.
You can see actually these guys really fighting to get that 0.1 bonus, can't you? Because as they've seen, you can vault into first place with less difficult vaults if you can control the landing phase. Ooh, just a 0.1 there, stepping to one side.
See the power of the run. We've seen a lot of very good runs. You can see they work on the sprint technique. Another vault from the front of the platform. It's quite springy at the front there.
If anything as well, it was just a little bit short from the platform. The judges will also be looking at the distance from the table as well as the height, and you've got to marry the two together.
Sebastian, just 20 years old, from Norway. He didn't finish in the all-round competition. Not in qualifying for this second vault, he scored a 13.866 and a 4.8 difficulty. Here he goes. 14.133. 9 on the execution, 5.2 on the difficulty. So 4.8 now for this second vault.
Less difficult vault, needs to be even better on the execution. Oh, and he did a good landing there. You won't get a bonus when you take that little hop, but it's a very well-disciplined vault.
It was close though. I thought he sort of had that. You're right, just that little hop forward. You can see the concentration. The half on. Just that separation from the springboard. Efficient in the twisting. Opening out at the right time, and just that little hop forwards. But great vaulting from the young Norwegian.
We've seen the emergence of several different countries into the finals at this championships, very much with the new cycle starting. Paris was the finish of a cycle, and you're really seeing a lot of new countries coming forward to contest for finals here.
Yeah, and I also think the new rule from the, I know it's not relevant on vault, but the new rule of 10 skills down to 8 will help some of these nations that really struggle to put 10 difficult moves together. So I think it's been a great move by the FIG.
Taking the time with this one. The 20-year-old Norwegian waits for his score of both of his vaults to be averaged. There is the result, 14.033 for Sebastian Spunvik. And now on to the last competitor in this men's European vault final. It's Nicola Bartolini of Italy. He's 29 years old. Feels like he's been on the gymnastics scene forever, but talking of execution, this is where this lad really comes into his own. His style is incredible. Nicola Bartolini of Italy with his first vault.
Well, he's been many a floor finalist over the years. And look at the height on that. The 2.5 twist from the Sukahara. Probably one of the highest we'll see, Chris, from the top of the table.
Yes, and he almost blocked it so high that he didn't quite have enough rotation. He had to make a very deep landing there. You're right, Craig, he's one of the most stylish gymnasts. Everything's crisp and precise. Up he goes. Lovely form in the air, and that was really quite a deep landing. He did very well to control it.
I think he was taking the deep landing because he wanted to get the 10th.
Absolutely. Well, if you're dropping out of the air and you haven't got too much rotation going forwards, you've got a better chance of holding the landing, but he just gambled a bit too much and went up, 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 up without quite enough rotation to get his shoulders
Probably
over his feet.
One of the only gymnasts actually that can keep his legs together from the springboard. And look at the execution into the 9s. 13.866 for Bartolini in his first vault.
Same tariff for the second vault. Same precision on starting the run. But this time the round off. Oh, and the 2.5 twist. But this time it didn't work for him, Craig.
No, I was just about to say, he looks totally focused. And the contrast between those vaults in the performance of it couldn't be further apart. He was so precise on the first one. He really did focus down. Not the same powerful approach you need from the Yurchenko. Round off. Blocks in. 2.5 twist. Could have probably just done with another foot of height. But great to see him back in this vault final.
I don't think we've seen so much of him in vault finals, usually floor final. And we were disappointed not to see him yesterday on the floor final. However, his teammate took a medal, took the bronze medal, so you're only allowed 2 gymnasts from each country into finals.
On the replay, it looked like he just twisted a little bit early. And if you twist a little bit too soon before you've created the rotation, you can potentially under-rotate. And the score comes in for the second vault, 12.9, 13.833 for Nicola Bartolini of Italy.
So there are the results for your confirmation that Artur Davtyan wins his 3rd European title on vault. Jake Jarman gets his 2nd European silver, and Chepurny of Ukraine, he wins bronze for the 3rd time. Incredibly tight. I mean, it was that bonus, wasn't it, really, that did it? We were talking about the vault bonus. If you stick that landing, you get a 0.1 bonus, and there was less than 0.1 between Jake and Artur. So let's have a look back, shall we, at the magic that was the vaults. We'll start with Jake Jarman as he began as he was first up there. So let's have a look at Jake's first vault. Here we go. Okay, so up we go, Sam. And what do you make of this one?
It was very reminiscent of that vault that clinched in the world title a few years ago, Matt. And yeah. I was kind of like reliving that moment once again. I think we almost had the same celebration from Jake, but it's just such an incredible vault. For me, this is the hardest vault in the world that he does, and yeah, it was absolutely brilliant. I think it was more in line this time than that World Championship vault a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think he surprised himself, but before he went, I said to Beth, it looks like he's going for the stick, and I think
the bonus, yeah.
Yeah, and similarly on his Dragulescu,
second one, yeah.
Just almost too much power on that Dragulescu, but. You know, it was always going to be really, really tight. And after Jake, it was going to be whether Davtyan could stick both of his vaults. So, yeah, what an incredible vault and final. But it wasn't so long ago that, you know, just a Dragulescu to land was incredible. Now we're expecting them to stick it every time they do it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the medal ceremony is going to be happening very shortly, so we'll go and have a look at Leipzig. There you can see Artur Davtyan is about to step up to receive that gold, but not before Chepurny steps up for the bronze medal. And it was great, actually, wasn't it, that all 3 of the top qualifiers went first, really, because it set the tone, didn't it, Beth, for the vault final?
Yeah, I mean, we were watching this vault final, and we were having that discussion that 3 or 4 years ago, actually, just to do a Dragulescu, the double front with the half turn, or the twisting vault, it was who stayed on their feet won the vault final, whereas now it's who stays on their feet and is nailing the landings. Jake's vaults were absolutely incredible, but it's a real gamble because you could see that he was going for those landings, but we saw a couple of the other vaulters, they went for the landings and slightly fell short, so then you're having to take a big step and potentially risking a medal altogether. So I mean, Davtyan, we haven't had a chance to look at them yet, but He's been on the World Cup circuit this year and just been nailing the vault landings.
He's
landing
32,
after landing.
32 years old. I mean, you know, experience comes into it, yes, but I mean, the toll on the body, as you know.
Especially on an apparatus like the vault, Matt. Like,
Yeah,
to be doing
well.
these vaults at 32 is just incredible.
Yeah.
And I think the interesting thing about that vault final was we really saw that sticking bonus come into play for the first time.
Yeah. Do you like it?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I think we're getting closer and closer to perfection, right? And so I really like that. And I think maybe the people at home, they can see quite clearly, wow, he stuck the vault, or they took a step, and it's an easy way to differentiate the scores and the performances. But on the old code, Jake would have won that final without the bonus landing. So it's really interesting seeing that. That is going to be a big thing moving forward, trying to stick those vaults.
Well, let's have a look at Davtjan, and let's look at the key, like that moment where he looks and spots that landing to get that bonus, Beth.
Yeah, so you can see here the Dragolescu, the double front with the half turn, but there's not even a question if he's going to nail it. He has so much height. He tucks in here, does the double front, opens out to do the half turn, and then just has so much time.
He spots it there, you can see, can't
and
you?
his
in the
arms
midair,
are coming out, ready for that landing. And then with the second one, he uses the handspring entry with the 2.5. And just... It's perfection. Jake's first vault, we were discussing, as a coach coaching young gymnasts, you would want them to sit and watch that vault and just go, that is your textbook's vault. And watching most of these top three vaulters, as young gymnasts sat at home watching this, they can just keep replaying that, and they are textbook.
Inspiring. I mean, you could see the look on Jake's face. I mean, it was classic. It almost went viral, didn't it, the World Championships when he landed, and that look on his face, he almost replicated that as well, because the joy that you must have when you know it's all come off and suddenly, because it's over so quick, and you get this reality check and you're like, it's over, I've done it. I'm in the final and I've just got a bonus.
And I think what people at home might not understand is they might imagine that you stick these vaults all of the time, but a lot of these gymnasts, maybe they stick those vaults a handful of times in their whole career, and they're doing them thousands of times. So that reaction is very authentic. It's an amazing moment to stick a vault like that under that pressure.
That 3.5 is so difficult to land dead because it is a completely blind landing. You are literally got milliseconds to know that you've hit that landing. So Jake is having to prepare himself kind of blindly.
That's what's so impressive, and that's why you see Davtjan opting for the 2.5 in the Dragolescu, because he gets to see the floor very early.
But also they're just keeping your composure between the two vaults, because it's not like, you know, you may think as a layman, oh, they just choose the best vault and that goes through. It's not that, it's the average, and that's why that composure. And you could actually see Jake saying, calm down,
I was going to say, as he was walking down the vault run, he almost allowed himself a couple of seconds to say, have I just done that? And then he could see him using his arms and taking those deep breaths to sort of say, right, I've got to keep it calm here. I've still got another huge vault to
but
do.
obviously he experienced that from the Worlds, didn't he? He knew what he had to do, and a lot for experience comes that, which is what Harry Hepworth is learning now at just 21 years old. All of this is just vital experience, those feelings, Sam, what it's like to be out there.
Yeah, being out there in that environment, and you see Harry's vaults here, so he does the Dragolescu, same as Jake's second vault. Again, does it so well that he's taking 2 steps backwards. Both of these guys are working on doing the Dragolescu with straight legs, so they're doing it in the piked position.
Right,
so that's what I'm expecting.
The rotation,
that's what I'm expecting in the next couple of years. They're almost looking too easy for them now, so it's hard to control that power. And the second vault, Matt, I spotted it. There is a 5-6 up on the board, so he was going to do the triple twist. Had a little chat with his coach, Dave Murray, in between, and said, there's no point doing it, let's try and stick the second vault. So he was ready to do the triple twist but didn't do it. So on the board there, for people watching at home, you can see the 5-6. So that would have been a brand new vault for Harry. So it's there, it's very close, but it wasn't quite ready for this competition given the fact that he took those 2 steps back on the first vault.
Right. So we like the bonus then, is basically what we're saying.
We're in two minds, me and Beth.
Are you against the bonus?
I'm not necessarily against it. I just... Ultimately, as a gymnast, when you go out there, you're looking for that landing anyway. Like for me, when I did a bar,
not to get a
I'm not trying not to land. So when I did my bar dismount, every time I wanted to do a final, you were looking for that landing anyway.
Yeah.
But you can now see the difference. Actually, it's cost Jake the title here. So it's an interesting introduction. And obviously on the women's, we saw yesterday that the 2 different entries gave you the 0.2 bonus.
I think Beth's underestimating how good she was at bars. Most athletes were just trying to get through the routine, whereas Beth was thinking about sticking that landing.
I'm still weighing that up, whether I like because they have it on every apparatus. So if you think about in an all-around, like the floor they had it,
as a dismount, it's like the last tumble effectively.
So
I just
that can in an all-around final, could that create quite a big differentiation?
But I mean, you know all about those landings and vault, especially Sam, because it was at the Commonwealths, wasn't it, where you took a really difficult landing, and actually it was a really bad injury that has impacted your entire career from there, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the vault apparatus, you know, we can watch these vaults and be amazed by them, but it's very, very dangerous, these vaults. Everything happens in a split second, and when they're performing, you know, Dragulescu's 3.5 twists, you have to be so focused, and I think that's why Jake was taking a moment to just calm himself down. I think he did his first vault and almost forgot he had a second vault to go. So, you know, for these guys that are the vault specialists, they're taking a lot of risk when they go and do these vaults.
And actually, the way the table has evolved from the old vault, it's actually meant that you can do more difficult moves, but that it becomes more dangerous as a knock-on effect.
Yeah, and a lot of these gymnasts, what you're seeing them perform on here today, on those hard landings, they're not going to be doing that every day in the gym. They will have soft surface, they use a lot of preps, because it's just not feasible to do it every single day. It's a lot of impact on the body.
And I think what people don't understand is obviously the table's improved, so the gymnasts are getting higher, but that means more force when you're coming down. You know, that can obviously lead to quite serious injuries. So it's over time gradually getting used to going that much higher in the air.
Well, let's hear from Jake. He's just won a silver medal in the vault final. He's with Betty Glover now.
He is indeed. Thanks, Matt. Jake, how are you feeling? I imagine mixed emotions.
Yeah, mixed emotions. I'm more frustrated myself, to be honest, because I did the best first vault of my the only other time I did that was at the World Championships, but that was on an all-round final that I knew I'd struggle to get a medal in. So to do it out here today on that first vault, I was just like, calm down. And then I went into my second vault. I was shaking because I was just so nervous, because all I had going through my head was, I can't believe I stuck it again. And then landed the vault. It took a few shuffles, and then I just didn't really think about it at the time. But I was like, oh no, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just done a hop or something to take less deductions. Saw the score and I was like, oh, it's going to be close. And I remember I sat next to Chaponi, who's the Ukrainian. We were watching Davtyan about to do his vault, and I was like, if he sticks both, he's gonna nab it. I just had a feeling. But overall, I'm really happy.
That first vault is something else, isn't it? It's something out of this world. It's almost picture perfect. Can you talk us through it?
You know, it's a really, so it's the hardest vault currently in start value, and it's a 3.5 twisting straight somersault. It's called the Yonakura, so it's got a start value of 5.6. So to be able to nail it dead like that at a competition, it gives me a massive edge. And I think if I didn't have that today, I probably wouldn't have come top 3. So, you know what? It's because it's so difficult. I'm just in my head. I'm saying to myself, I need to just not think and just go. And I can feel the sweet spot when I hit that vault table that I know I'm going to do it. And as soon as I hit it today, I was like, oh my gosh, I've done it. I'm gonna land it.
You did. You landed it. It's just that second vault, isn't it, Jake? But we're going to see more from you in the Worlds as well. So thank you very much and congratulations.
Don't be frightened to say, Jake, that it's the hardest vault in the world, and you're one of the best vaulters in the world. You are, mate. You're absolutely fantastic. What a performance. A silver medal in the men's vault final, the Euros, for Jake Jarman. Okay, so now we're going to turn our attentions to the women's beam final. It's a piece of apparatus full of contrasts. You need elegance and effortless grace, as well as grit and bravery and very grippy toes. It's over to Craig and Christine in the commentary box.
Hi Matt, thank you very much. First up to get this beam final underway, qualified in 3rd place for France is Morgan Osek-Rimmer.
Super leap mount. You have to hit the splits, and she certainly did that. Then a second difficult leap. We have seen her join those two sometimes, but this is the very important acrobatic series, and she adds in the full twist. We saw her in the all-around just do a straight somersault, but that was a super straight full twist. Clean on that free walkover. 2 jumps, they have to be included. One of them has to show splits. So, as well as your top 8 moves counting, there's 4 requirements. The 2 jumps, the acrobatic series. Oh, hold. Oh, well done, she did. You have to do backwards, sideways, forward elements, so she's shown us all of those. And a good fight for the side summy, but a few marks will be given away when you have to wave your arms like that. This is another of the requirements, the full spin. Lovely, strong gymnast here. Good free cartwheel, but the routine just lacks a tiny bit of rhythm. It's quite stoppy and starty. However, she stayed on. Here comes the dismount. Lovely big double pike. Step backwards well. That was a big moment to include the straight back somersault with full twist. And although there were a few errors, she stayed on.
Very well held indeed for Morgan Osek-Ruma. 4th in the all-round a few days ago, and 4th with the mixed team. Can she get a medal this time round?
Always a difficult apparatus to be first up on. A difficult start. It was, she did well in a few places, but I love this. Round off full twist in the straight position. Probably one of the most difficult skills you're going to see on the beam. A lot of people struggle to do that on the floor, Christine, and the beam's 10 centimetres wide. Unbelievable.
Oh, there's the grippy toes.
Yeah, that's the fight of the competition.
Yeah.
This gymnast has got huge potential, though, don't you think?
Well, she's very strong. She can tumble well. She was one of the French team in the Olympic Games, and they really didn't have a successful championship, so she's come back stronger and really has had a good European Championships here.
Well, she scored 13.733 in qualification and a 13.7 in the all-round competition. Very consistent.
Yeah, I don't think it'll probably go that high with all those wobbles there, Christine, will it?
No.
But she's got through, and it means the other 7 gymnasts have to at least stay on the beam.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give it the old commentator's curse, but we haven't seen many falls from beam. Sometimes at some championships it's every one, isn't it?
Yes, the best gymnasts have done very well. Yes, it wasn't a case of the all-around, the only person who stayed on one.
Yeah.
They fought.
Well, the judges taking their time, understandably, with that one, just making sure that they've got all of the execution deductions in place.
It'll be a new panel for the finals.
So down on qualification and the all-round, 13.4 for Morgan Osek-Ruma of France. Next up, Anna Barbosu of Romania. She took a bronze medal in the all-round, bronze medal in the bars final as well. She's got a floor final to come this afternoon. But now her attentions are on beam, where she could definitely challenge.
Super front somersault mount, really lifted. Lovely precision on the landing, one foot in front of the other. But this is the very, very difficult series. Watch, handspring, front somersault. Oh, and she did that so well. Those moves are blind, you don't see the beam. Backspin, leap, second leap. Wow, she did well there. 3 elements in a row. That's where the bonuses start to kick in. And the squat spin, the double, you get the D value, so that's worth a 0.4.
Very secure.
Very secure. The 8 most difficult moves go together to give you your D score. But they have to, at least 3 of those have to be spins or leaps. So you can't just go on and do all acrobatic work. And this has been a well-constructed routine. Just a big pause there. And tour jeté, that's a difficult leap. A smooth sideways dance. Now, this has been a very positive routine. Come on, make a big dismount. 2.5 twist, super dismount as well. Big smile, because that was a very good routine from Barbosu.
There's no question that's going to be the score to beat the new benchmark from the Romanian. Just 18 years old. Romania, renowned for beam work over the years. 44 medals in total at the European Championships, Romania.
Well, she doesn't make it easy for herself, does she? Because she fills the routine with such complex and difficult elements. Front somersault start, front somersault from the handspring, these blind landings where you really have to get your feet down onto the beam, the choreography and the grace of the Romanians shining through with this routine, and I've been very impressed with this gymnast. Good solid dismount. Interesting that the women don't have a 0.1 bonus for a landing. Actually, I think it's something that would probably suit the women's programme as well.
Well,
yeah. Well, we'll see.
Well, interestingly, she fell, didn't she, in the all-round on beam?
Yes.
So she scored an 11.633 in the all-round, but still managed to win the bronze medal.
And she not only fell, but she then had a very wobbly second length. She really succumbed to the nerves in the all-around, but she'll be very delighted to have shown her true worth.
13.666 is better than she scored in qualification. Definitely the new golden score of this beam final. The score to beat then. 13.666. Sofia Tonelli of Italy will give it a go. 13.566 she scored in qualification.
And the new gymnast on the scene here. Oh, she did well to hold on to that flip layout, but the step forwards will be a bit of a deduction. Super split on the leaps. You can see all those 3 leaps, she hit split very easily. Good strong free walkover, so we've seen the backward tumble, we've seen good leaps, we've seen a forward element. Here comes the sideways, the free cartwheel. And quite fluent, she keeps the movement going. Some of the gymnasts are a little bit slow. You can almost see them thinking about each move. Here's that spin. It's a very popular spin because you have to add a full spin in. And if you can do a spin that's worth a D, then it's much better if that's got to be something that's counting. So we've seen her good. What about this dismount? Here it comes. Smooth double by, lovely landing.
Give her a bonus.
Give her a 0.1 for that.
She raced through that routine.
That was tremendous.
Just a little hesitation on the first element, the acrobatic series, but she built confidence as she went.
Should get a bonus for not falling off beam as well, shouldn't you? Don't you think?
I think that would be quite good. But if you fall off, then you've absolutely had it, haven't you? Because you're so far behind.
Yeah.
I was, again, really impressed with this young lady throughout the competition. There was just one little bit of a little wobble, but apart from that, the rest of the routine, and I do like the fluidity of it, you know, as Christine picked up on, because if it is a bit stop-start, it seems to just drag on a little bit, but not with this young lady. Really good.
And total respect, because she's only 17 years old, so not long out of the junior ranks. And to follow Anna Barbosu, no mean feat. So 13.566 she scored in qualification. It'd be interesting that there was a difference between her difficulty score in qualification and the all-round, so maybe not given the value of one particular move, but she put in a 5-6 difficulty in qualification.
Yes, the leaps, if you have a wobble on the first leap, you don't join them.
Given 5-5 for difficulty here, 13.633. She goes into second, but with the same score. Now, brace yourselves for the highest qualifier. This is Jennifer Williams of Sweden. 19 years old. Now, the last time Sweden were on the medal podium was 1963.
Well, she performed very nicely that straight back somersault mount, and she's done her 2 jumps as well. This will be important. The free cartwheel into the layout somersault, and she just didn't manage to pull her hip square after the free cartwheel. That's a shame, because this is a very nice fluent routine. 1 leap, 2 leaps, into the Corbett flip, building that difficulty. But you can see as soon as she finishes one move, she's into the next. Here's the spin, the triple there. Sharp with her movements. It's a well choreographed routine. And you can see why she was the top qualifier. Lovely free walkover and the split jump to ring, that gives you bonus marks. I have to say, this is beautiful beam work, but however beautiful it is, if you fall off during the routine, you lose that 1 whole mark. Here we go, into the dismount, double, oh, and that's 2 falls, in fact. That's a shame, because the actual work on the beam was so good.
What a shame for Jennifer Williams. She came here with so much expectation. Obviously such a big build-up, high hopes, and it just didn't come off for her. It wasn't her day on the beam.
It is very unfortunate, because if you look at the start, the routine is absolutely jam-packed with difficulty. There's the free cartwheel into the layout, and you can see the chest was right down and not just in line. And unfortunately, like most pieces of apparatus, you can pull it back, but not on the beam. And it has a real momentum to it, this routine. And the triple spin, I was going to say, was one of my favourite skills in this routine.
She does it with a beautifully straight leg. Quite a few of the gymnasts push off with a bent leg, which is deductible, but there was a lot to be said was lovely, but this dismount wasn't.
And she has got really good toe point. I picked up on, even in the double pike back somersault, sometimes the gymnast flex the feet. This young lady is definitely one to watch for the future.
Oh, no question. I mean, highest qualifier. I think everybody thought this is her moment.
And the other gymnasts sympathising with her. Everyone knows how it feels.
Yeah, and great respect as well passed on. Everybody knows how difficult that routine was, and apart from those little moments, it was really quite beautiful, that work.
It was indeed.
Well, the score that Jennifer Williams definitely doesn't want to see, but she'll sit there, go through the motions, put it down to experience. And I mean, it is a cauldron, isn't it, here? And you know, it's very easy to forget when you're watching it on TV. There's nothing else going on in this arena, just the beat. And it's good, actually, that they're playing a bit of music, because it can be deathly quiet. But when all eyes are on you, and there's no, I mean, this is a sellout crowd, you can see. The focus, it's just unbelievable, that feeling.
It is, and if we think back to the Olympics, when Biles fell off the beam in the beam final, she was like, oh my God, it was so quiet.
Yeah.
You probably feel like the loneliest person on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's not like any other piece of apparatus, the beam, it really, it's not just the pressure of it being a tricky apparatus, but you're right, it's eerily quiet.
Yeah.
It's the one piece of apparatus that you've got time to think on. You know, when you swing bars or swing any piece, the momentum takes you and you have to let it go, whereas you can overthink this. Look, 2 falls and 12.533. Would have been a 14.533.
What a shame. What a shame. She knows she'll be so upset and she'll wonder why on earth it happened to her right now. But that's how things stand at the moment. Anna Barbosu leads for Romania, 13.666. Sofia Tonelli of Italy in second, also with 13.633. And France's Morgan Osek-Rimmer on 13.4, currently in that third place spot. Nina Derwal next to go from Belgium. Took a gold in the bars final. And she also had a silver medal on this piece back in 2018 at the European Championships.
And that's also a very difficult mount, the round off, layout somersault. Very experienced gymnast. And there's the free cartwheel into the backflip. That counts as her acrobatic series. Both elements have flight. Lovely split. The split to ring. The judges are looking for a personal style on this apparatus. Super flexibility on that free walkover, and you can see she's injected her own style into the dance work. Strong side somersault. Interestingly, down to the floor or to the beam for the squat spin, and that's one of the best triple squat spins you'll see. So confidently enough to dance along the beam. Every move extended fully. And here's the big dismount, full twisting gainer. That was a very impressive routine. I'd be very surprised if that doesn't go into the lead.
Well, the score to beat is 13.666. The score for a medal at the moment, 13.4. Sofia Tonelli in second on 13.633, so just 0.033 behind the leader.
Well, her difficulty was down in qualification, only a 5.3 start, but there weren't many deductions to take.
Yeah, her E-score, her execution will be high. This is a tricky piece of apparatus, a good execution. I mean, the top execution we've got was Tonelli of Italy, 8.133 with a 5.5. But she is such a beautiful gymnast to watch, isn't she, Christine? We were talking about this before the competition, and I said, do you think she's got a chance because she qualified down in 6th place? And you did say if she hits the routine like I think she can, she'll be well in with a chance. So she must have been listening to you.
She's also the gymnast with the experience. A lot of these gymnasts, as Matt was saying, it's their first experience of, you know, being the one person in this arena, all dark around, spotlight on you. But she knows that feeling.
Well, is it going to be good enough to move off Barbosa of Romania?
Well, she was the golden girl on bars. Is she going to be the golden girl as far as beam is concerned?
There's actually not much splits them on difficulty, is it, between Barbosa? The only real person that could storm it would have been Williams.
She goes into the lead, 14.033 for Nina Derwal. There's 3 gymnasts left to go in this final. But for now, she's out front. Across we go to the gold medalist from the all-round this year. Took a bronze in the mixed team final, but she's the second highest qualifier for this final Manila Esposito, she's off.
Goodness me, we haven't seen her do that very often at all. It's such a difficult mount, and she usually performs it with such confidence. I'm sure she'll get back on and show us her beautiful work, but, well, I don't think she'll be able to win from that mistake. Free walkover. Strong free cartwheel. Very elegant always. But she looked really surprised at that error. Oh, and she's really has rattled her, because actually she won't be really completely sure whether she's got her acrobatic series, because she fell off the second element. And if you don't have your acrobatic series, you lose a 0.5 as well as the fall. I don't think she'll try and push one in. Now she needs to just focus and make sure she performs this dismount well. Round off, double pike, she does. But that will be a very costly mistake at the beginning.
What a shame.
All the times we've watched her, she's competed this uncannily well.
Interestingly enough, she fell off in the bars final, didn't she, yesterday? And it just proves the all-around programme, how it takes so much out of you.
Well, she was in the mixed team as well, wasn't she? So it's like, again, you know, how match fit are these gymnasts coming into the first international?
That's a flip into the layout, and so the first layout, now it's whether the judges will count the mount as an acrobatic skill along the beam. If not, they'll say that she hadn't got an acrobatic series. When she came off, she looked to the coach as if to say, do I do this again, sort of thing. But I think the coach would have thought, don't bother.
It's done.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yes, it's gone.
Yeah, because she had 14-3, 13-3 wouldn't have put her into the medals. But what a surprise for Nina Derville of Belgium. If she could,
she's guaranteed a medal. There's 2 more to go, and she's in the lead, so she's guaranteed.
She could
bronze.
go home with 2 goals.
She could definitely go home. Yep, 25 years old.
I'm not sure the final 2 gymnasts have got the difficulty, Christine.
No.
Dolgotta
no.
and
5-4.
Sharpie.
And Sharpie, I would have said they'll have to be absolutely perfect to challenge.
Manila Esposito, 12.2. But she'll be happy with her all-around goal, which I'm sure is her main goal coming here, the blue ribbon event.
Absolutely.
All around gymnasts want to get their hands on, so put that one down to experience. Denisa Golgota, the second Romanian in this final. She was 5th in the beam final back in 2019.
Well, she's going for broke. Hits those leaps. She's got very nice style. Super high front summy. Because the beam isn't at all sprung, so that front summy is quite a difficult skill. Good backflip and layout. All her movements are very fast and dynamic. Controls the side somersault really well. And that's a very original roll across the beam. Can she control this spin just about? Oh, no, she can't. Oh. She just pitched her hands forwards and allowed herself to fall. just a little edgy on the landings. But quite a sparkly performer. Big double tuck with a step forward. Well, what a shame, and she would not have thought that when she finished that spin, that was going to be the downfall.
Well, you can see the potential in this Romanian team, can't you? Because it was very uncharacteristic, really, of that spin. You think about all the acrobatic skills. And again, another routine. It was very fluent and some really beautiful choreography. There you can see the flick into the layout.
Can see how early they see the beam on that layout.
But this just proves really how difficult a skill the spin is. Even just to do 1, 2 or the triple spin. I do feel quietly optimistic with this new revived Romanian team, Christine.
Yes, I mean they did a good job at the Olympics, and they seem to be building from there.
Denisa Golgota, 23 years old from Romania. She was the 8th highest qualifier for the final, just waiting for a score to come in. But it looks like Romania are going to be safe on the medal podium. There's only one gymnast left to go. Our teammate Anna Barbosu is currently in that second position with a score of 13.666. Nina Derwal leading with 14.033, and Sofia Tonelli on a 13.633 in third. There's Denisa Golgota, 12 scored, she's in 7th. So just Sofia Tonelli not guaranteed a medal at this stage. As we head back to the end of the vault mount with Lorette Sharpie, 23 years old. Finished 5th in the all-around competition. She got a bronze back in 2019.
Lots of experience. Floated that layout mount. And saved the flip layout very well. She was a little bit offline on the flip. Strong free cartwheel. Ooh, but the series of leaps has been broken there, so she has to add a second jump in. But one of the things about the more mature gymnasts, and Loretta is one, is they work with much better pace quite often, and her pace on this apparatus is good. Does the double spin and then works smoothly out into the next set of elements. Lovely extension on the toes. Good landing on the free walkover into the split jump and flip. So you can see once you get your rhythm, you can add the links together. She needs to focus for the dismount. It's easy to make an error here. You have to plant the feet on into the double pike, a big step forwards, that'll be a deduction, but a very good performance from Sharpie.
Well, lucky at the end, really. She didn't headbutt the beam with that step forward. But I think you're right, Christine. The more experienced gymnasts do have that confidence on this piece of apparatus, just to move with a little bit more fluency. I really do like the back somersault start or the front somersault as opposed to the gymnast that leap on. And she had good rhythm there. Normally that's where the judges will question the connection. Shows a flexibility. confident in the flick. Well, she'll need over 13.6 if she wants to go into third.
I think that big step forwards might just stop that, but she's had a great championship, Sharpie. She wasn't part of the team in Paris. She'd had a big knee injury, so it's great to see her back here.
I bet when Nina Derval went in today thinking she'd end up with a second gold, just waiting for confirmation of that.
She really did maximise her routine. There wasn't a wobble, I don't think, or a bent leg. And 12.966 into fifth, so that gives the title to Nina Derwell. She adds that to the uneven bars gold that she won yesterday. It's really been a fantastic championships for her, but great to see Barboso and the young Italian Tonelli on the podium as well. Barboso takes the silver medal, and Sofia Tonelli for Italy the bronze.
Great beam final, and we were talking about Nina Derwell just the other day, saying how incredible it was that she managed to win the gold on bars. 25 years old now, and there she is again, victorious. Let's have a look at her grace, her style, and how she won that gold medal on beam. So here we go, Beth.
Yeah, I mean, we've known her being a fabulous beam worker. Actually, to get into the Paris Olympics, she did a lot of the World Cup circuit, going round to do beam because she wasn't quite fully fit for bars. So she was winning a lot of those World Cups. So she is a beautiful beam worker, and that combination there, the free cartwheel into the flick, great splits. She's got a very just great elegance about her, but she's mixing that in with the combination of the acrobatic skills and the leaps and jumps there. You can see a really precise free walkover.
There's a great maturity and assurance with it as well. You don't really doubt what she's doing here, do you, Sam?
No, you can we spoke about it a little bit yesterday on the pommel horse, but her mindset going into it, I just feel confident when she's performing. I think the big thing that I took away from this final was that the experience really played in. If you look at the Swedish girl that qualified in first, probably one of their first finals, this is where that experience really plays a big factor.
Yeah. And you get to these stages, don't you, Beth, in your career? I mean, we're not saying she's old by any means at 25, but it starts playing on your mind of when's the right time to start slowing up, stepping back. She's not doing all round these days as such, but I mean, gosh, she's just looking so fantastic. I don't think she's ever looked better.
Yeah, she's obviously taken a bit of time to step back. She's recently got engaged, and when you start to have that life away from gymnastics as well, it does give you that perspective. And she looks like she's clearly enjoying her gymnastics. So it's great to see her go home with 2 titles. I was disappointed for Jennifer because
Jennifer Williams,
obviously qualified first, did a beautiful routine, and you can see from this routine that she did today, to score a 12.5 with 2 falls is incredible. It would have been a 14.5 plus, so just a shame. This free cartwheel layout is a very difficult combination. Not many gymnasts will use that, and unfortunately it didn't quite play out today. But to get back up and show the composure to sort of say, right, I've forgotten about that fall, and carrying it on. She's a beautiful triple spin, and then the dismount, unfortunately, just slightly back. And once you've lost that kind of centre of gravity, it's hard to regain it. But she'll learn a lot from this final. I don't think this will be the last we see of her.
I mean, you could see her just holding her head there. Sam, we talked about, popping up from the juniors. She's 19 years old, has a 6.4 difficulty. So to be at that age and have that kind of wealth of difficulty, to be able to mix it with the very best in the world there on beam. But sometimes you just need that, the mental training in a situation like that to be able to execute what you can do physically.
Yeah, and competing in these finals, there's only so much you can do to prepare for them. You've got to really feel what it's like to be in that arena with that pressure, to qualify first, she would have probably surprised herself, I'd imagine, and then all of a sudden she's, oh, I'm playing almost not to lose rather than playing to win, because I've got something to lose at that point.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that stood out for me from this championships is how well the Scandinavian countries, so Finland, Sweden, Norway, we're seeing them in so many finals. It's really interesting. We've not really seen that for, I'd say, the past decade. So that's, yeah, it's really cool to see that.
What would you put that down to, Beth? I don't know. Is it coaches moving around the world, or
potentially programmes? Quite often, we saw it with British Gymnastics. You bring coaches across, you change the programme that you're delivering, but it doesn't happen overnight. It can take kind of 10 years for that programme to really show through. I mean, the likes of Lewis Smith, when his results started to show through, they'd actually targeted Lewis and Christian and Dan Keatings kind of 10 years earlier and used them as a junior to bring them through, get the experience. So then by the time they get to seniors, it is kind of 5 to 10 years later. So it just takes time for programmes to really shine through. But a fantastic showing for her, and we'll definitely see her again.
It's also an interesting topic to talk about the fact that a lot of gymnasts now are sharing the work that they're doing in the training gyms through either social media or videos and what have you. So you sort of getting an awareness of what's going on around the world and whether or not you can hang on the coattails of that and let that help you.
Yeah, I guess in the past, lots of countries, maybe they didn't have the access to necessarily the facilities or the coaching or that technical knowledge. Now they've got that, you know, they can see it from all around them. It's almost like, you know, learning online and doing schoolwork online. It's the same thing. You're learning your gymnastics and it's there for you to see the best in the world. So incredible. And we saw Barbosa there take a medal on the beam, another gymnast that pulled out of the mixed team a few days ago. Another tactical decision, and it's paid off.
We talked about that programme and how difficult it is, you know, strength sapping in more ways than one, which brings us on to our next topic. Next, we have the men's parallel bars final featuring rings specialist Courtney Tulloch, and his qualification for this final seems to have taken him a little bit by surprise. Betty caught up with him, the great Courtney, earlier this week.
You've made 2 finals. We're used to seeing you on the rings. We're not used to seeing you on the P-bars, though. You qualified 3rd in the final. Talk us through that decision to compete in the P-bars.
It was literally, we made the decision a couple of weeks ago, and I was playing with a new dismount, and I learned it really quick, and the decision was to do P-bars like a nice distraction, so it wasn't so much pressure for rings. I think I was shocked as anyone that I made the final. I know I can do it a little bit cleaner, but probably one of the best dismounts and routines I've done. Don't think I've ever made a P-bar final before, so not sure. No, I'm not sure how it will go or how I feel, but just gotta have fun with it and we'll see what happens.
Do you enjoy P-bars?
Yeah, I do enjoy P-bar. Ever since I was young, I enjoy it. Yeah, Joe sent me a message and was like, "You're a P-bar specialist now. Can't wait to compete against him. That'll be a nice little rivalry we'll have together because we are so competitive." I know I can do more. We took a few skills out of the routine, so I was a bit more fresh to do the dismount. So for the final, I won't change anything, but in the future, I know I can up the difficulty, so it's quite exciting.
Some big things to come in the P-bar world then, Courtney.
Yeah, I know, who would have thought that? But yeah, it's cool.
More Courtney the merrier, that's what I say. Brilliant. We're going to have to put that into context. What do you mean he decided a couple of weeks ago and it happened? So they were training a dismount. I mean, is that a hangover from another piece or something that he may have worked on in the past? Or
one thing that Courtney's very good at, Matt, is obviously that spatial awareness. He's a vault guy and a rings guy. He's doing triple back on vault. He's done on the rings, he's done full in back out on the vault. Yeah. So it's similar to that in a way, but it really was what we were just talking about. I saw a video of him online trying this dismount into a foam pit, and 2 weeks later he's performing at the European Championships. But I think that just shows the calibre of the gymnast that he is. Yeah. The fact that he's been able to adapt to this brand new code, and you'll see from Courtney, he's able to do those skills where you land in upper arms. They were very common, 2 Olympic cycles ago. They've now come back in and he's adapted very quickly to that. So I think that's paid dividends. But that dismount that he's doing is going to be the only dismount in that final that's that high in terms of the difficulty. It's a G dismount, which is incredible.
Wow. And the moves are basically in the code. They're named as far as the letters of the alphabet are concerned. And he nailed the dismount. This was the key. He nailed it, didn't he, Beth? Which got him the bonus that we've all been talking about, which actually made him qualify in third.
Yeah, and it's an interesting. He talks about he wanted to do the P-bars to take the pressure away from rings. When you're a specialist and you're turning up to a major tournament just to do one apparatus, it is a lot of pressure on you. So he will have used that just to go out, get the kind of atmosphere. So for him to find himself in a final, I think he was very surprised, but truly deserved, especially if he's doing a difficulty of a dismount at that level.
And I think great for him at the stage where he is in his career to not go in with all of that expectation, you know, with rings and that. And there's a lot hanging over you all the time, pardon the pun. But actually to go into a P-bar final where he's happy to be there and excited to be there. He's going in with a different energy, Sam.
Yeah, there's nothing. He's got nothing to lose. There's not that expectation. We all know him as a rings guy, and I know for him that pressure when he's on rings will probably come from himself because he's wanting to win that medal and potentially try and win a gold medal. Whereas on parallel bars, I think he'll go into it the mindset of 2 weeks ago I wasn't even supposed to be doing this routine, so let's just see what I can do, and if it works out, then great.
Yeah, well, this was a piece, Sam, that you were brilliant at. So just talk us through like the ultimate parallel bars routine, because it's a little bit different now. We've talked about the 10 moves being reduced down to 8. So what do we expect to see here with this new code?
Well, on the parallel bars, Matt, what you want to see is a routine that flows really well and has a diverse range of skills. So you want to see skills that are swinging under the bars, on top of the bars, in the upper arms like we talked about. Quite often, the parallel bars is an apparatus where you can get a very high execution score. And so it will come down to whether the gymnasts are moving their hands across the bars and that landing again on the dismount. But for me, a beautiful parallel bars routine flows, and they've added a new rule in that after every skill, you have to do a pirouette. That's a half turn. So the whole routine has to flow. So hopefully you shouldn't see routines that are stopping in handstand for too long anymore.
We've got to talk about Vanayev, who's made this final as well, the Ukrainian. He's now 31 years old. He's Olympic medalist, world medalist, European medalist, and, you know, still going. It's incredible, Beth.
Yeah, his execution is usually brilliant to watch. He's had an up and down journey over the past few years, and he's obviously come back into competition last year, and it's been great to see him back on the circuit. And this is the piece he's renowned on. This is the piece that quite often brought him up into those all-around medals. So it'll be interesting. We talk so much about these gymnasts. They're in a different stage of their career. Courtney, he's got his little girl watching. I saw little photos yesterday of her watching TV. Daddy's on the TV. So they're just in a different stage of their career, and you have a very different mindset when you're going in later in your career.
Yeah. Also, we've got Ian Robol, who we've never really seen before. You were talking about those other countries that are coming through now. But the Swiss were kind of renowned for parallel bars, like back in the day, almost the kind of architects of this particular piece of apparatus. And it's interesting, isn't it, when you look at the different nations that have these styles that you were saying, the Japanese and the Russian gymnasts as well, those foundations, where they come from.
Very good technical gymnasts, and you know they have a long history of being very good on parallel bars and very good on high bar. We're going to see another gymnast in the high bar final. So great technicians, and I'm really excited to see their parallel bar work, because from what I heard, they qualified maybe 4 guys within the top 10 in qualification of parallel bars. So this will be incredible to see those.
Well, Courtney's just warming up here there. He's just taking a nice sort of relaxed approach to that dismount. When you're doing your warm-up, when you were competing, actually with you as well, Beth, how much did you do, and how much do you hold back, and what's your aim with that warm-up when you're getting your hands on the kit?
You want to get the feel for it. I used to like to do part of my routine and literally get the lights are different, the atmosphere is different, the equipment can quite often feel different to the back gym. It's not usually on a podium in the training gym, and then suddenly you're on a podium. So I like to do a warm-up that was part of my routine, and also quite a good warm-up, otherwise it made me panic a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, Matt, particularly on the parallel bars, it's the most stressful apparatus to prepare for, because every gymnast will have an individual grip, the way they like the grip on the parallel bars to be, and you just have 30 seconds. So either you spend 30 seconds getting your grip right, or you do the actual skills, and that's always the dilemma in the gymnast's head. How much time of that warm-up do I focus on making sure I'm confident in my grip, and how much do I actually warm up? And you can see the gymnast here preparing his grip and getting the width right on the bars.
Did you take your own chalk?
I took my own chalk.
Did you, Beth?
Oh, I think most gymnasts take their own coach. The one thing I find with the P-bars is you seeing them with their arm measuring. You would think there's a better way of doing it. I don't know.
Oh, what the forearm and 3 fingers? No, I was forearm and 3 fingers. What were you, Sam?
Yeah, the same thing with 2, and Sergey would do it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see how Courtney gets on. It's going to be a tough event to call, with less than 1/10 of a mark separating 7 of the gymnasts in qualifying. Let's hand over to Craig Heap and Christine Still.
So first gymnast on these parallel bars for Switzerland, Ian Robol.
Qualified in second spot with a really difficult routine. Starting well so far. Got to keep those arms straight. Finish the skills to the vertical. That's the very difficult skill, the turnout from the one rail. Switzerland traditionally good on this piece of apparatus. No mistakes so far. The big dismount, the double front, just that little bit of a scurry on the landing, but a very well constructed routine, Chris.
Yes, and a strong start for this parallel bar competition. For me, he didn't hit those absolute perfect straight lines in his handstands, but he was very efficient and kept the routine really moving at a pace. Lovely turn on one arm. Super front somersault, just a tiny flicker on the elbows as he landed. Few tense deductions for the legs as he turns, that one's better. But lots of energy on the apparatus.
23-year-old Swiss gymnast. He was the second highest qualifier, 13.9 in qualification. 5.2 on the difficulty. 13.766 is the benchmark. So slightly down on his qualification score. Next gymnast getting into the zone here is Harald Vibia, Norway. Said how tight it was going to be going into this final, just tenths separating these gymnasts. The 25-year-old is all set and ready, the second gymnast in this men's parallel bar European final.
Just a little flex in the elbows there on that first skill, but plenty of height and flight on the transition from below to above the bars. This is one of the requirements, a skill from the upper arm position, very fluent and precise with the turns and the hands. Oh, and I was just about to say, that was a lovely transition, and I think he stubbed his fingers.
No, don't play another one bites the dust.
I know, I was just gonna, it's awful, isn't it?
Actually, normally the gymnasts will just hold that one bar a little bit, and that was a very quick transition. And it's this blind catch that makes that skill so difficult, but well worth the reward. So that's a full mark, he'll have to compose himself. And he did it again. That's how you do it. Beautiful control on that one rail. This would have scored well without the fall. Double pike to finish. Just that little hop forward. What a shame, but again, brilliant to see a gymnast from Norway on the parallel bars in the final.
We've seen a few gymnasts from Norway featuring this championships. And I have to say, I did like this gymnast style.
Just a little flex there in the elbows. That's the judges are looking for.
Love this straight line through the shoulders. And that was the error. As Craig said, you're blind. You have to make sure you're very precise with your hand placement. Just only the fingers went on.
And the worst thing about that, not only do you stub your fingers, but you get a parallel bar in the armpit full of chalk, which absolutely makes you wince.
12.866 for Harald Vibjerg of Norway. So these scores then aren't as high as we saw in qualification. There could be an open door for Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch here, 29 years old.
Interesting in qualification, Courtney was 9th. They weren't forgiving his stick bonus on the dismount and appealed, and it put him from 9th into 3rd. So it's what a difference that stick bonus makes.
Every 10th is going to count here for Courtney Tulloch. Can he nail this dismount? He's got a lot of parallel bar work to do before then, though.
Fluent there, straight into the handstand. Absolute machine. Lovely straight arm, locked into the handstand. Lovely long swing into the double back. You don't see many of them. Change the body shape back down the bars.
Come on.
Here we go. Double back with the full twist. I think he put his hands down. What a shame.
It was a huge effort from Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch. Some good parallel bar work throughout the routine. But the dismount just not as good as qualification.
Well, the work on the apparatus was just great. I like his line very much. He's a gymnast who can inject energy over a short period very well indeed. But he just needed a little bit more energy into that dismount. You have to bend the bars a bit, don't you? And hopefully they'll lift you up. That was very good.
It's a skill that's been lost on parallel bars, the double back. See, I think he just twisted a little bit early there, Christine. Yeah, hands down, full mark. What a shame. It'd be interesting to see what the score would have been with that extra mark.
And a bonus.
And a bonus.
Even just with the extra mark. Well, Ian Robel is leading this competition, the Swiss gymnast, on a score of 13.766. But a worthy finalist, Courtney Tulloch.
Yeah, he didn't look out of place at all.
No, he's...
Apart from the dismount, that I was going to say that's the best routine we've had so far in this final.
Yeah, no question about that. Let's hope it's not the last time we see Courtney in a parallel bar final.
I think the new rule from 10 skills down to 8 has really helped Courtney.
12.866 in second at the moment.
So it would have gone first.
Would have been a good high score. It was a 7.75 execution with the 1 mark off. 8.75 execution, that would have been good.
Really good.
Well, Niels Dunkel of Germany had a storming all-around competition a few days ago. He finished 5th there, but as we're seeing with these scores here, the door could be open for him.
Well, he did entertain us so much the other evening, didn't he?
He did.
Lovely dynamic work. Look at the arms locked out. That's a very difficult skill. A long swing with the full turn called a Diamondov. Look at the height there, full of originality. He's going for it. Dismount to go. Double front with the half turn. Just that hop back.
He likes it.
He's the happiest kid in this competition for sure.
Yes. And giving the home crowd something to cheer about here. Nils Dunkel with his bid for a medal in this parallel bars final.
Well, they've been a fantastic crowd here in Leipzig, and he's really enjoyed performing, and it is great to work in front of a home crowd.
He was quite quick through the routine, wasn't he? Had quite a flow.
Well, yes, what Sam was saying about the way that they're adding the pirouette, they've got to keep the routine flowing. Parallel bars used to be a little bit stop-start, gymnasts holding the handstand far too long, in my opinion, but this new rule and the construction, it makes the routine a lot quicker and I think a lot more entertaining.
You do notice a big difference, don't you, between the 10 and the 8 moves and the actual length of the routine, the duration of it.
On the parallel bars, more than anything, I think, is struck.
But I also, I think this pirouette and not stopping in handstand makes a big difference, because you used to see the gymnast just preparing, sometimes waiting a good couple of seconds. Now that's gone. I think that and the 8 skills make it seem a lot shorter. He was going for that stuck landing.
He did well with that dismount because he came off quite bent elbows, didn't he?
Yeah.
12.866 is a medal score at the moment. Held by Courtney Tulloch, leading the competition. Here's the Swiss gymnast, 13.766, but Nils Dunkel has gone into the lead with 13.9, and listen to the roar. Understandably, and there's another German gymnast to come in the last 4. But how long will the order remain like that? Because the next man to swing the parallel bars is a bit of a legend on the apparatus. He's an Olympic medalist, a 2-time European champion. Oh, we're in warm-up, thank goodness. I suddenly thought, what's Timo Edder doing up there?
Well, interesting, Matt. We're looking at the next 4 gymnasts. There's actually only one gymnast scored over 13.9.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think if anybody, for me, deserves a medal from this competition, it'll be Nils Dunkel. He really does portray what sport is all about.
Yeah.
You know, and he has really entertained us and enjoyed the experience as well. There are some good gymnasts to finish, and his teammate will be wanting to go above him for sure.
Yeah, well, we've got a few minutes warm up here while the gymnasts just loosen themselves up, because it would just be too much of a longer wait for those gymnasts that are going sort of 7th and 8th to have to wait for all the others to go first. But this lad is an absolute great of the sport. Oleg Kunayev, 31 years old. Himself a world champion back in 2014. Look at him, even in warm-up, he's just mesmerising to watch.
Interesting to think it was 11 years ago, that.
And Olympic champion on this apparatus as well.
Olympic champion in 2016 in Rio. 2
Took
times.
a silver in the all-around as well, didn't he?
But this guy's got the high start score as well.
Yeah, Ferhat Arajan.
And we haven't seen anything of him during the competition. We've seen him previously in all-around competitions. We haven't seen him this time round. So he's obviously here for this job and this job alone.
Well, he scored a 14.4 in qualification with a 5.7 on his difficulty. He's got great execution. He's got a body type that's just perfect for this apparatus as well. But he's a great entertainer on this piece of apparatus. It's interesting when we watch the the well-known gymnasts for this piece, what their routine's going to look like when we're so used to seeing them do 10 moves and, you know, have a lot of sort of duration to their routine too. This is a lot faster and quicker.
Yeah, absolutely, and you've got to obviously fill it with more difficult moves, really, so it sort of emphasises the big skill and the reward that you'll get with it. You'll see Farhat, a lot of his skills come from the upper arm position rather from the straight arm, and that lifts the difficulty a tenth. He's a very tall gymnast, so it's very difficult for him to swing under the bars, even though he will need a skill for the requirement. Interesting enough as well, the next 4 gymnasts all landed their dismounts. They all got a bonus.
Ooh. Okay, well, let's get on with this men's parallel bar European final with Farhat Arajan.
Real supremo on this piece of apparatus, utilising the upper arm, but those 2 little shuffles are a tenth every time. Oh, and just a little loss of form. Oh, and he's off. And you know what we're talking about, this very difficult skills down to 8.
Yeah.
We've seen this gymnast many a time come a cropper in the actual final.
Yeah. He looked rattled from the start though, didn't he? He was just a bit off.
Yeah, he didn't settle, and you having said about you not allowed to hold the handstands, he started with 2 completely held handstands, didn't he? Which, I guess, you see, he's a gymnast who's been around a while and he's having to change his mindset a little bit about the routine.
Well, he certainly won't win today with that full mark off, but he has to get back on the bars. That's very well controlled from the 1 bar. He's got a huge dismount. Watch this, front up rise. Extends the double front with the half turn. I think that's a stuck landing, is it?
I think he'll get a bonus, yeah, for the dismount only.
Interestingly, in domestic competition on the women's side in Great Britain, we have had bonuses for stuck dismount, but only if you went clean through your routine.
Oh, that's an addition.
Oh, that's another.
Now, so just watching him do that, so you know, the stuck dismount in our day wouldn't have counted because he fell off during the routine.
But the issue with this routine, because it's so difficult and he's got all these blind catches with his hands coming from upper arm, obviously the more difficult the routine, the more risk you have of falling. And you know, you intro him going, this is the first time we've seen him. He's been sat around for a good few days since qualification was a good few days ago, and even though he's been in the training gym, it's not the same.
But also, when you're like 31 and you've had a parallel bars routine that you've just done for years after years after years with 10 moves, and then suddenly you've got to like reshape it all and make it quick and zippy and
and not hold your handstands.
Yeah, this is the first time that he's sort of performed it in international competition.
Well, our mate Nils Duncan's still going to be in the top spot.
Well, interestingly, Germany will be guaranteed a gymnast on the podium because there's 3 to go and one of them's a German.
Oh, very true.
Yeah.
Well, they've been impressive at this championships.
What a shame for Farhat Arajan. He's been 2-time European champion in the past, back in 20 and 21. Silver at the Euros last year, but there'll be nothing for him this year. What a shame. Highest qualifier bows out. Look at Courtney perched on the end. Still waiting. Looks like Ian Robol's got Jake Jarman's flip-flops on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, Jaco. Well, I wonder what they'll be deliberating on over that.
Well, it was a definite fall. It's whether they give the skill, the under somersault to the 1 rail.
Ah, yes.
Because that's a skill in itself, and then the healy turn out.
Well, he got 5 for the difficulty, so yeah. It's 12.033 for Ferhat Arajan. Frenchman now. The 4th highest qualifier. Courtney Tulloch still technically in the bronze medal position. But for how long? Leo Saladino took a silver in the all-round a few days ago.
Well, a real new breed of French gymnast. Very light, suited to this piece of apparatus. Did a little flexion in the arms there. This is difficult, and he negotiates that very well.
It's all going to be on the dismount.
Is he going to get the point 1? 1 1/4 in the Diamondov. Front up rise, here we go. Pops up, the double front with a half turn. Well, he tried to hang on, but just that little hop forward. 13.833 in qualification. Interesting to see what that scores now.
Can he get into the top 3 with that? 13.766 is the silver medal score as it stands, and then 2 gymnasts share the 3rd place spot, the Norwegian and British gymnast Courtney Tulloch.
I think he'll go into the medals.
He's certainly a very impressive young gymnast. He's worked solidly, you know. He's worked in, I think he was in the team competition, the mixed team. He obviously did qualification, he did all around.
Got a medal, yep.
Yep, and we've seen him, we've certainly seen him really perform well, haven't we, Craig?
Yeah, we have, and he had a great all-round competition, and this was one of the stronger pieces of apparatus, actually. He scored 14, so if he gets somewhere near that, yes, he hasn't got his .1 bonus from qualification, but it really is going to challenge. And he'll certainly be feeling tired, because he has had, of all those guys, probably one of the fullest programmes, along with Nils Duncan.
Well, this will be his last final of these championships. 22 years old. Can he be in the top 3? And if so, what colour, with 2 gymnasts still left to go? The German Nils Dunkel leads ahead of the Swiss, and Norway and Great Britain are in 3rd together at the moment, with 2 gymnasts still left to go, one of which is Oleg Vanayev.
Interesting, Duncan qualified in last place, and he's now sat at the top of the table.
Well, the roar that he gave when he landed, he knew he was in with a shout. The judges are deliberating, thinking, how do we knock the German off the top spot in front of this crowd?
It's amazing, these gymnasts who look so under pressure. Once they're finished, they're chatting away so amiably, as if they're, you know...
It'd be a good podcast these days, wouldn't it?
Out for an evening type of thing.
The Medal Podium podcast.
Yes.
What are they talking about?
Oh, he's not happy with that score by the looks of it.
Well, it's 3rd. 13.333. Knocking the Norwegian and Courtney Tulloch from Great Britain out of that 3rd place spot, but Nils Dunkel is still leading this competition with 2 gymnasts left to go, one of which is his compatriot, a German, and the other is Oleg Vanayev.
Interesting, his start value was down 4/10, and I think he was signalled to his coach.
Yeah, I need this protested.
Well, this young lad here has really made his mark on these championships. He's just 19 years old, gold in the mixed team final. Can he get another medal here?
Well, he does swing this piece of apparatus so fluently. Good control there, the heely turn from the one arm. A tall gymnast, so when you swing this piece of apparatus, it looks very elegant, and he's going to be off soon. Look at this.
Oh, he's ducking!
Oh, that's a brilliant!
He's got the
Well,
bonus.
what about that?
Oh, we love a bonus. That was tremendous.
Got to be the new leader. Got to be.
That was magic. And the look on Nils Dunkel's face, look, yes, come on. Is it Germany 1 and 2 as it stands?
He only had a 4.9 for difficulty in qualification. That might be the only thing.
Yeah, well, he did the same routine in the mixed team, the qualification and the all-round. But he got a bonus.
He's got the Brucey bonus. That was great routine, wasn't it? And it had a lot more pace compared to some of the routines we've seen.
Yes, it's a modern routine. It's a routine of the era, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Young gymnast. This is what he's been working towards.
It's a very slight frame. If you look at his upper body, which on a piece of apparatus like parallel bars allows you to swing
Marcel
with
Neumann.
freely.
You remember
Yes,
Marcel
he has a
Neumann?
Neumann look about him. Did I say the other day like a young Belazerchev?
Yeah.
But you're right, Neumann is from that calibre of gymnast.
Well, he's certainly been consistent, that's for sure.
Yes. Well done, son. 19 years old, gold in the mixed team final. And here he is, making his mark on parallel bars. Last final of these championships in front of this home crowd. It'd be magic to have two German gymnasts on that podium. Leo Saladino, 13.333. Yes, he put in an inquiry which has been rejected, which he looks equally baffled about.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what it is, because it's on combination or the skills, because that's your difficulty. You
Well,
can't
interestingly,
object.
he scored 13.833 in qualification and 14 in the all-round. So he's way down on what he would be expecting.
Yeah, you look at the skills, he finished all the skills to me.
Well, it'll only be, it's only the difficulty score you can protest.
Yeah.
So there's something that they haven't credited. He still looks like he can't quite believe it. Score unchanged.
Yeah. It is. I mean, that's the third time he's done this routine at these championships, so I can understand why he's confused. Still waiting. Edge of the seat stuff.
One gymnast
Medal
to
score
go.
at the moment. He's gone into third, 13.7 for Timo Eder. But it will be an uncomfortable wait with one gymnast left to go, who is a three-time European champion and a former world champion. Also an Olympic champion in Rio 2016. He's 31 years old, the joint oldest competitor in this final with Ferhat Arozhan. Can the Ukrainian get back on the medal podium? He's a legend of our sport. Everyone would like to see him there. Come on, Oleg.
Fluent start, well suited to this piece of apparatus. Zips up into the handstand, no problem there at all. Oh, and he's off. He's off. It was such a difficult skill. Nils Duncan realises he's just become European champion on the parallel bars from qualifying in last place. Vanayev will have 30 seconds to get back on the parallel bars. What a shame. Has to compose himself. Oh, and again. See, once you fall, it really does knock your confidence and concentration. A perfectionist on this piece of apparatus, but not today. Double front with the half turn. It gets the 0.1 bonus for landing, but it's not his day at all.
Well, what a shame. The two senior gymnasts in the competition, but with the big start score, both falling away at that final hurdle. But great for German gymnastics here.
Well, Nils Duncan cannot believe his luck. And a very well-deserved performance. All three guys put in some fantastic parallel bar work. Yeah, well done, that man. Oleg Vanayev, so well respected in the gymnastic community.
As you said, an absolute legend. And he started that routine so zippily and so well, as if he was going to make it easily. But it's amazing how much you lose your competitive edge when you're not competing all the time. There was a time when Vanayev competed all the World Cup circuits, everything, and he was so reliable.
Yeah, you need to be competition fit as well as training fit, don't you, Christine? And that's a skill in itself, not just in the sport of gymnastics, but a lot of sports. You've got to be able to transfer what you're doing into the gym or in the training hall, out on the podium. What a result for Switzerland as well. I'll just wait for confirmation. He had two falls, Vanayev, so score comes in 11.5. He got that bonus for the landing. So there we have it. The new European champion on the parallel bars from Germany, Nils Duncan. Silver to Switzerland's Ian Rubel, and the bronze to Germany's Ida Timo.
I'm so delighted for Nils Dunkel. I mean, the way he roared his way around the all-around, he was just entertaining the crowds, and he's had his moment. I mean, that's the point. You go up there, you do your very best, you perform and post your best possible routine and see what happens. And that's exactly what he did, Sam. Let's just look at his routine again and watch him as we go.
It was a beautiful routine, Matt, and we talked about that flow of the new code of points and having to pirouette after every skill. And this skill here is my favourite skill in gymnastics, the long swing Diamondov. He does it beautifully, and he just looks so elegant. He's a taller gymnast. One of those gymnasts, anybody out there that's maybe not had this incredible superstar junior career, Nils Dunkel was one of those athletes, but has matured into an incredible performer. Very consistent, came fifth in the all-around, and has taken a gold medal in front of the home crowd. I'm sure he's surprised himself with that, because we had Oleg Vanayev, Ferhat Arakan, who had the big start values but made those big mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. We were talking in commentary about those very experienced gymnasts that may have been practicing their routines for years and years and years. Then a new code comes in and you've just got to totally redesign your routine. I mean, that must be quite a difficult thing to do, Beth.
Yeah, it's always an interesting one as soon as that Olympic cycle kind of finishes, because you can't think about it at all until that's over, and then you have to kind of sit with your coach, right, what's the changes, what do we need to do to our routines to make the best of that code? So some gymnasts you get away with making very little changes, whereas some gymnasts you have to literally reconstruct your whole routine.
How did you do it? Did you sit down with a pen and paper, or did you look at other gymnasts around the world? Or what?
Amanda did most of it, to be honest.
Right,
she would usually go and sit with one of the judges, look at what the changes were, and towards the end of my career, actually, I was quite lucky. The changes didn't affect my routines too much, so I didn't have to make major changes. But I have seen some people where reconstruction of the whole routine is required.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at Courtney's routine, because we heard, didn't we, a few moments ago, him saying that they'd literally decided a couple of weeks ago that we're going to do this. But Sam, just talk us through what he's constructed and how he gets, all that difficulty in there.
Well, it's a really nice routine, Matt. And going into this routine, the first few gymnasts had made mistakes. And the actual content of the routine was the best routine we'd seen so far.
Yeah.
Courtney didn't take any steps with his hands. You see him do the long swing double back. I think he was the only gymnast in the final to do that skill. We talked about that being a skill he had performed earlier on in his career. And it all came down to that dismount, and he was so unlucky with that dismount. He just twisted a little bit too early. And when you open out a bit too early in the twist, it's like releasing the parachute a bit too early. You don't have that rotation, and he just didn't get it right. But you know, you see that final play out, and we spoke about him not having the highest difficulty, but that is one of those finals where if you just do your routine, you put the pressure on everybody else, and that's the way it played out for Niels Dunkel there, coming away with the gold medal. Interesting what Beth was saying about the construction. The two athletes with the highest start value, they did the under somersault to land on one bar, which was a skill that was very popular in the last Olympic cycle, but you see none of the other athletes who are the younger generation coming through doing that skill anymore, and they've both been caught out with it.
Yeah.
I love the double back.
Yeah, with regards to Courtney, how do you think he'll walk away from this competition? Because he had a huge disappointment yesterday, didn't he, with rings? And I mean, I feel he's a little bit hard done by, actually. But, you know, he was 5th in a very close final.
I was going to say, I don't think the results reflect the performance. You say he was 5th, but it was like literally tenths between 1st and 6th. It was less than a tenth. So I think frustrated more than disappointed. Ultimately, today he'll be disappointed with the dismount, but you've also got to reflect and go, actually, I've only just learnt that dismount. I've still got time to bed it in the next few years. But the rings routine, he put the triple back in there. He did a great routine. So I think it's frustration rather than disappointment.
Well, it's great timing because Courtney is with Betty right now out in Leipzig. So, Betty Glover, it's over to you and Courtney.
Thanks, Matt. Courtney, how are you reflecting on that? I know you'll be really disappointed with your dismount, but the actual routine itself was so strong.
Yeah, happy with the routine. I think it's the cleanest I think I've done it. So just got to take the positives. Obviously, dismount didn't go to plan, but I literally came to this championship. P-bar was just something to do to take my mind off rings, so wasn't expecting to make a final, my first P-bar final, so I'll take the positives and I'll learn from it for sure.
Talking about that dismount, was that just unlucky? What do you think went wrong? Was it sort of lack of energy at the end?
Yeah, arms were a little bit tired at the end. It's a new dismount, like I said. We came into this championships, the main focus was rings and P-bar. We decided about 2-3 weeks ago to do P-bar, so it was just to take my mind off rings a little bit, so there's not so much pressure. So it was a big shock to make the final. But yeah, just a bit more numbers, and I'll do that dismount. I know I can.
Yeah, with all of that in mind, the fact that you weren't planning on P-bars, you must be really proud of yourself getting joint 5th there. Will we be seeing you in a P-bars final again? That is the big question.
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll work harder on P-bar. I think I need to believe in myself more on P-bar. Like, coming here, I never thought I'd make a European final on P-bar. So we'll take the positives, and yeah, I know I can do more, and just got to believe in myself.
I know you were really frustrated with the rings final yesterday and what happened with you, but how are you sort of feeling walking away from this European Championships?
Yeah, still gutted with the rings final, but that's the sport, it's gymnastics. Spoke to my coach a lot and spoke to all the coaches here out, and I know what I need to do to improve. It's just one of those things, the sticking the landing is so important, and I need to do that more. But ultimately, I was happy with how I performed my rings. I think it was one of the cleanest I've done this year, and then I need to build on that going into Worlds, and anything's going to happen, so we'll see.
Just really quickly, how do you stick your landing? How do you work on that?
It's just more numbers, like I said. The triple back is new. It's one of the hardest dismounts in the code on rings, so more numbers. I've been to 5-6 competitions now and I've landed all of them, so I can take a lot of confidence in that. In training, I'm sticking them, so it will happen. You see on the rings final, not many of the gymnasts stuck their dismount. I think it was 1 or 2. Then the main guys didn't, and they finished on podium. So we've got things to work on, and I know what I need to do.
Brilliant, Courtney. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Well, he looked very at home, I thought, in that P-bar final. Well deserved his place. And he's given the selectors a really interesting conundrum, hasn't he? Because if he's hitting finals at European level and been very capable and within tenths of medals, That's a tough thing when you're picking your team, because he wasn't part of the team, Wheatley. He came as an individual.
Yeah, and obviously we traditionally know him as kind of a ring specialist and also vault, but now he's adding a third dimension to that. It really does help that team score. It's. I'm glad I'm not on that selectors.
3 of 6. It's big. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that one thing for Courtney, I had a chat with him earlier this year, and it's hard not to ask him, is Olympics the thing you've got in your sights? And he'll be thinking about what's the best way for me to get onto that team.
He's 29.
If he is offering, we've seen the rings champion here being 34, right? So he'd be 33 in LA.
Spring chicken.
Yeah, exciting.
It is. Well, it's been a real pleasure to watch Ruby Evans' performances this week. Still only 18 years old. She's the most senior gymnast in the women's team out in Leipzig. She's already got a silver in the mixed team final, and today she goes in her first individual apparatus final. Betty Glover spoke to her earlier this week. Great Britain's Ruby Evans. Absolutely brilliant.
I feel like making finals obviously wasn't the goal, but kind of was. I've been injured for like 8 weeks. We weren't really expecting to make it to Euros. We came here as a new team just wanting to build a team connection, and I feel like we have really done that, but I have wanted to make a floor final and I have finally done it, so.
What are your preparations going to be going into that?
I'm not going to change anything, I'm just going to do what I usually do. Just do nothing. Basically.
Do nothing. Go shopping in Leipzig.
Obviously, like, I'm going to train and I'm going to work it, but I'm not going to change anything, I'm just going to do my floor. I don't like overthinking. Like, if I overthink something, I'll like restart my brain and like do it again and not think.
What can we expect from your floor routine?
It's new, it's more dancey, I'd say. A bit more like movement in my body, because I kind of get a bit stiff. But I never liked dancing ever in my life. Like, I could never be a dancer. I feel like dancing is harder than my tumbles.
Do you want to just go out there and try and just enjoy yourself?
Yeah, especially for this one, because I feel like it's the first year back from Olympics. It's kind of like we don't have any pressure on us, so I feel like this is the one to enjoy.
Great to hear her mentality there, but she's such a likeable character. She is coming out into the arena. No doubt she'll indulge in this. She's been so good. She was brilliant in that mixed team final, Beth. But just leading it up to this competition now, what are we going to see from these floor routines? What do you expect from you?
There's going to be a lot more emphasis on the artistry, which was interesting there. Ruby saying actually the dance is harder than the tumbles, and I totally agree with her. I used to hate that part as well. And also the dismount, looking for that stuck landing and
that bonus, middle bonus that we all love.
So there's going to be a lot of artistry in these routines. I think they'll be enjoyable to watch, but with that you've got the power and the execution of the tumbles.
Yes, which is very, very tricky. I mean, there's a sprung floor these days, Sam, but obviously every competition you go to is going to be different to the floor that you're training on in your gym back home. She's done qualification, she's done the mixed team, she's done the all-around, so this is actually the 4th time that she'll have been on that floor. How helpful is it to use it that many times before an individual final?
That's massive. I think Luke saw the advantage of that, being able to be in the all-around final and do another floor routine. Because you're right, the bounce of the floors is very different from competition to competition. And this floor that they're using here at the Europeans is typically a very fast reactive floor. That means that when you hit the floor, the reaction from the springs is really quick. You don't wait for long. Whereas on a different floor that sometimes we see the gymnasts perform on, they have to almost absorb that bounce and then go with it. So they'll be looking up to try and land and control those landings on a floor like this is really hard. So that's a tricky thing.
So timing's everything. I mean, you won a world title on floor, Beth. You know all about that. And did you feel really good on that floor? when you took your first
Yeah,
one?
I think it is hard to adjust to the bounce, especially when you're in a training gym. It's not usually on the podium, so it can not have quite as bouncy effect, and then suddenly you're on a podium and there's a lot more give with it. Ruby does have connecting tumbles, so she's literally linking 2 somersaults together, and that's where it's difficult to get the bounce. But like you said, she's done, I think, podium training, qualification, team final, all-around final. So she's had a lot of experience out on that floor now, and they get the warm-up now, which they've only just reintroduced in the kind of past 3 or 4 years.
Anna Barbosa here, we saw her get a medal on beam, but also Manila Esposito's in this first little group here. She had a nightmare, didn't she, on beam? So
she did.
She's got to obviously put that out of her mind and concentrate on this, because she's got a real shouty. She's the highest qualifier.
She was the highest qualifier. She's a very powerful gymnast, and this first tumble is beautiful to watch.
Well, here is Manila Esposito, the highest qualifier, gold in the all-around, and she's the current European champion on floor. Let's hand over to Craig and Chris in commentary.
And hasn't had a terribly happy time in these finals so far, but this is beautiful. So graceful. And that's a wonderful spin to start with. So she's set the scene for a very lyrical routine. Big tumble, that's as good as we've seen her do that double straight. Super split and turn. Now these spins are important, 1, 2, and then into the illusion spin. And this passage of leaps also very important. To include a forward element here. We see this 2.5 twist and then a straight front, beautifully landed. Final big tumble, double pike, just a hop back. Beautiful style, really well performed. That was a great opening routine for this floor final.
Much happier than the other finals she's competed in this weekend. Getting back to herself.
Well, she qualified with the highest difficulty score of all.
She did, and the top score, 13.8. Fabulous extension. The double layout, 2 somersaults backwards in the straight position. As good on the choreography, Christine, I would say, as the tumbling.
Yeah, she's very flexible. She's got very good feeling throughout her body. She just doesn't dance with her arms and legs. She embraces the whole of the body. Great split on that changed leg full turn.
Yes, very flexible gymnast, being able to hit those positions. The final tumble, the double pike back, just this little scurry back on the landing that managed to stay well within the floor. It's not going to be an easy victory on this piece of apparatus, is it, Chris? Because we've got some really good floor workers to come.
No, it won't be. She's been the outstanding gymnast of this championships. Gold medal at for the team competition, gold medal all around, falls on bars and beam in the finals, and she also did the mixed team final, so she's had a very heavy schedule, but that was a lovely floor routine.
13.7. It's a very, very difficult score to beat that one.
Only just in the 8s for execution, so they took 2 marks off, which it's difficult to see where always.
Emma Fioravanti of Italy is the second gymnast in this floor final.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Straight front into double front. And another super double straight. So we've seen very difficult forward and backward tumbling. Great leaps. But the same super triple spin. Good combination. Full of character, this routine. Very sharp and bubbly. Come on, big tumble, double pike. Well, she's tumbled her way, certainly. What a charming performance from the young Italian gymnast.
I love that. It was bubbly as anything, vastly entertaining, wasn't it? You couldn't help but do gymnastics along with that, could you, Craig?
Well, we're having a bit of
bit of a
dance on, weren't we, here? But you're right, absolutely full of character. Powerful as well.
Well, she had a 5-5 difficulty, which is up at the top end of difficulty as far as all of the finalists are concerned, and didn't see many major errors there, Chris.
No, I didn't think so at all, and full of good tumbles. She used 4 tumbling passes, which of course gives you a bit more danger to have deductions taken, but all the tumbles were good. That was a super spin.
I especially love the straight front into the double front. We've seen, I don't know how many of the men fall yesterday in the floor final with that combination. And what I liked about it was she kept her knees locked together. She's obviously a gymnast that understands rotation and has great spatial awareness. And I think her teammate, Esposito there, will be maybe a little bit worried, but very supportive. I mean, they're great friends.
13-7's a big score.
But absolutely different styles. How great to see from one team to the selection of work for these two gymnasts is so cleverly done to bring out their strengths.
You wouldn't believe that Fioranti is actually 7 years older, would you, than Esposito?
Really?
No way!
Yeah. Well, scores are in. 13.233. Esposito stays in the lead ahead of her compatriot. The next gymnast to go from France was also in the vault final. Ning van Aken, 17 years old. Also in the floor final at last year's Europeans.
And a very dramatic start. Oh, oh, that's a shame. Very big tumble, double twisting, double straight. But she faltered and hands were down. Great 1.5 walk out into double tuck. Ambitious leap series. Punctuating the dance work well. Full twisting double back. Great tumbling from this gymnast. And zippily out of the corner into the last tumble. Well, a really dramatic performance. A shame that she had her hands down on that first tumble, but very, very difficult tumbling throughout the routine.
She looked very dejected, didn't she, after vault? And what a shame for her there again on floor.
Only 17 years of age, so we can forgive her a few errors, because that was an absolute huge opening tumble. Double twisting, double straight, and had to just pike down a little bit. But if you think 3 years from now she'll be 20, she'll have a lot more competitive experience. You know, and a lot of these younger gymnasts, they do struggle at the start just to practice the volume of routines with big skills like that.
Well, that was actually the full twisting front into the double tuck, which is a very difficult skill to do. It's packed, this routine. For me, this routine is one of those routines where the level of tumbling was just a bit more than she could perform easily and well.
Yeah. Maybe a bit too ambitious for her, not saying that she can't do them, but routines like that with big skills, you need lots of numbers.
And it sort of affected the overall performance.
But interestingly, here we are in this Olympic cycle at the beginning of it with, you know, a good few more years to go. She's 17 now, so 20 years old. She's going to be well practiced in these routines.
Oh, absolutely, and a huge skill set now.
Yeah, she won't need to improve the tumbling at all.
No.
I mean, that's a fabulous level of tumbling, which wouldn't look out of place in an Olympic final.
It's just repetition now.
It's repetition. And then, obviously, it detracts a little bit from the choreography and the dance, because she's really struggling and putting all that concentration in.
Well, 12.2 puts Ming van Eycken into third. Well, Anna Barbosu now the second highest qualifier. Bronze in the all-round, where she scored a 13.7 for this floor.
And quite a soft start. Here the first big tumble, the whip into full twisting double back. Super spin. She matches the mood of the music with her dance work, and outstanding landings. Very sharp on that leap. Well, everything she has included so far has been well performed. Another super double back.
Oh, this is going to be very, very close indeed.
A beautifully choreographed routine. It matched the music precisely. Now, this is a gymnast who can perform the tumbles, the leaps, and the dance.
Perfect mixed, yeah.
Perfect mixture, yes.
I think of all the routines that we've seen, for me, this one is the one that really does sell the performance. It was full of drama, charm. You're right, Christine, working with the music. It was like she was telling a story. and that's what the judges are looking for.
Did she get all the way around on all of her spins, Chris? Were you happy that she'd have been credited for those?
Yes, and the leaps as well. She does one very difficult leap, a tour jeté with an extra full turn, one of the most difficult leaps that's in the code of points, and she performs it really well. The Romanian gymnasts have always been great at the leaps and jumps as well as the tumbles, and she's of the tradition of the very famous Romanian gymnasts for that.
Well, she scored 13.7 in that all-around competition. Currently, Manila Esposito leads this floor final with 13.7. Anna Barbosu got a silver on beam. Can she go one better here?
She was really good on the landings for me as well.
Yeah.
Not only the gymnast lands slightly with her feet apart and snap them together, but her knees and feet, body position. It was almost like a ballet performance within a floor routine. It was beautiful. I really like that. I'm going to say that was my favourite so far.
And I think, well, both those two routines will get maximum artistry scores.
Oh, it's a score that takes Anna Barbosa into the lead, 13.833. It's the biggest floor score that she's had here at these championships.
And you know the difference will have been Manila did a little hop backwards on her final tumble, whereas Barbosa landed without
the
a
final.
step. Yeah.
Did she get the Barbosa bonus?
Well, if they had it for the women, I'm sure she would. And I wonder whether the women's technical committee would look at adding the bonus like they do on the men's. Because obviously it takes a new dimension to the sport.
Well, we've got to warm up now. There'll be a few minutes for the latter half of this.
I mean, there's
final.
4 left, Chris. Do you think there's anybody in this latter half?
Jennifer Williams.
Jennifer Williams, and she is Swedish and competes for Sweden, but she currently is at Stanford University as well, competing in the American Collegiate Program, and I'm sure her performance will show us that pizzazz.
Well, on we go with the women's floor final. Everybody doing their warm-up has cleared. Judges, I think, are almost ready. Yes, they are. There's the salute from Jennifer Williams, third highest qualifier, 19 years old. Had a sight set on a beam medal earlier. It wasn't to be, but this time it's a different story.
Well, those 2 spins were successful. Ooh, double Arabian, just a little step out. The 1.5 walk out into the double. Oh, what a shame. Super spin that we saw on the beam as well. Lovely extension through the travelling across the floor. Very good choreography, mirroring the music. Here's the big double pike. Well, that was a great landing. Well, what a shame. Right in that middle tumble, hands down on the double tuck. Really showing a little bit of lack of experience in both these finals, but I'm sure we'll see her again at World Championships, and will have got great experience from this Europeans.
Yeah,
same story as what we're saying with Van Eycken, you know what I mean? You've got that body of work now and you just need to keep performing it at this level.
And probably if she's in America, dealing with a little bit of jet lag as well, maybe. You know, she'll have certainly travelled the furthest, unless they broke up you know, for the summer, and she's back in Sweden. So, you know, one thing that they do in the American system is compete week in, week out. So if that's what she needs, she's certainly in the right place. But we have been really impressed with her performances. It was such a shame for her to miss out on a beam medal. And then and also the floor is different in Europe to America. They have a foam block under these floors, where the American system have got really tough springs. So again, it's just about getting used to that, and it'll be a big learning experience for her. And I'm sure it won't be the last we see of her, and the next time she'll have gained massively from this experience.
It's amazing, the extension on that final tumble. You could see the set in the air, couldn't you? And the way she looked down her body and then wrapped it in.
Yeah, she's got a very clean line. Her work's very crisp. Very nice.
3 more gymnasts left to go in this floor final. Anna Barbosu leads with 13.833. Manila Esposito in second with 13.7. And the other Italian, 13.233, is in third. But Jennifer Williams there scores an 11.933. Stood in the corner now of the floor area is Great Britain's Ruby Evans. 18 years old, silver in the mixed team final. She's the Welsh champion. Scored a 13.466 in the all-around competition, which would be good enough for a medal at this stage.
Lovely sharp start. Needs this big tumble. Double straight, super landing. This is the big combination straight into double twist. Really nice landing. Smoothly out of those leaps. Another big tumble here, 2 full twists. Wow, what great landings, Ruby. And that's clean, very nice. Just 1 tumble to go. Come on, Ruby. Stand it up tall. Lovely work.
Yes!
What a fabulous routine. What charisma. Well done, Ruby. That was a super performance.
Absolutely fantastic. She hit those tumbles. She performed the dance elements with grace. Real charisma in that performance. Keep your eyes on the scoreboards, everybody.
I love this start. And she sort of sets the mood so well, doesn't she?
Super consistent as well. She's done 3 floor routines all through with no problems whatsoever. She's talking earlier about just coming out and enjoying this competition. And she certainly has, and certainly going to make a name for herself. Very impressive opening tumble, the double layout, and just that little hop back. But I think there's a real partnership between the tumbling and the choreography, Chris.
Yes, this, like Barbosa's, really is a beautiful routine in all areas. She mirrors the music, she feels the mood of the music. The tumbles are, she's capable of the tumbles. They're not overwhelming the routine.
Yeah.
Well, that was fantastic. She absolutely delivered. She had a bit of a nervous wait watching all of the higher qualifiers go before her, but my word, is she capable, and capable of mixing it with them?
Well, I think it's possible to go up into the 3rd spot.
Well, very delighted for Ruby and her coach Tracy Skirton, who's the Welsh national coach, and has produced many successful Welsh gymnasts over the years.
Ruby Evans has gone into third, 13.433. 2 gymnasts still to go in this women's European floor final. Well, Karina Schoenmeier has had an absolute storming competition here in front of the home crowd. Gold in the mixed team final, gold on vault as well. She qualified with 13.2 here.
Very good, full twisting double back. And another very well landed series. Crowd getting right behind this performance. Very nice. Change leg to ring and tourchette. Sky high double tuck. Well, very well choreographed and elegant routine. I have to say, these gymnasts are selling these floor routines beautifully.
Absolutely, and every single member of this audience is trying to give her extra tenths to get her up into the medals, understandably. But will that be good enough to threaten Ruby Evans on 13.433?
Well, for me, I just think it wasn't as precise on the landings as Ruby. She scurried around a little bit. She had some big, powerful tumbles, but if you look at the difficulty in qualification, she had a 5-1, and I think Ruby there
5-5
had a 5-4, it's saying. So
5-4 qualification,
so she got
5-5
3 tenths up there, and I think Ruby danced equally as good. It's whether, you know, the home advantage is going to sway the judges a bit.
Well,
what do you reckon, Chris?
Well, she's done very well, this gymnast. She won the vault.
Yep.
Yesterday.
And the mixed team final.
And the mixed team final, she's a very good performer, and she really didn't put a foot wrong there.
See, that was that hop and a little scurry.
I think there were little errors, but she really sells the routine. Very elegant.
I've got a feeling we'll take the time with this score.
It's going to be close. I don't think it'd be good enough to go into first place. I think the top 2 are safe.
Yeah, the start scores are, you know, the 5-7s.
Well, Barbosu of Romania leads the competition on 13.833. Vanilla Esposito 13.7, and Ruby Evans, who's in third, 13.433, with an inquiry that's gone in.
That'll be on the start score then. Do you think it's a
5-5?
5-5. What would that be in, Chris, do you think? Can't be the tumbles, is it? The leap?
Well, interestingly, she was awarded 5-4 in qualification, but was awarded 5-5 in the all-round.
Right.
It's the leaps or the spins. Those are the places where you sometimes get them. But she really did the spin very well.
Yeah, I thought that.
At the Olympics, her start score was down because she didn't get her spin credited. But that one, she made sure of. She overspun, if anything.
Well, I don't think it would threaten the silver medal position, but it might protect the bronze.
Yeah, well, that's what they'll be thinking. And I think regardless of where the outcome is, if you feel like you deserve that start score, then you're going to protest against it.
Yeah.
There's only a certain amount of time. she can't get used to seeing herself, can she? On
No,
screens.
and she and Ruby won't have been party to doing the protest. the coaches will have what they expect to be given, and they will have, she won't know any more about the protest than we do.
Well, we'll have to pause with Sean Meyer's score as well. She's done so well at these championships, alongside Timo Edda, who got a medal on parallel bars. They got that mixed team gold. The score we're hearing is unchanged. Okay, 13.433 is the score that remains. So, no doubt they'll build the tension again. Fifth for Karina Sean Meyer, 12.966.
So those little errors were noted.
Yeah, I think that's a fair result for that.
Well, the last gymnast to go is the silver medalist from the women's all-round competition. She had a brilliant competition there, the 22-year-old Alba Patisco of Spain, and she scored 13.233 twice, both in qualification and the all-round. 13.433 a score to match Ruby Evans in bronze.
Here the big tumble, full twisting double straight. Well, completely different style, very powerful. Double Arabian, she stamped that landing. Ooh, made sure of that triple spin. Strong whip into double tuck. Needs a good final tumble. Up she goes, double pike, she does. Well, completely different style, but she performs it really well with energy and strength.
Sizzling performance from the Spaniard there. This is gonna be very close. Under so much pressure, Christine, going into that last performance. And she did not disappoint. Such a dramatic, bubbly character. She reminds me a little bit of Claudia Fragapani, that, you know, that she brings a certain sparkle to the performance. And it's hard, really, when you watch a routine like that, not to start moving about in your chair. I mean, she had a 13.233 with a 5.4, and the landings were equally as good, I felt.
It's going to be a very tight. She did this spin really, really well.
You can see the determination there in the face. Technically as well, really good round-off flick. Stands up. A little bit of flex in the feet in the double pike, Mike, but very secure.
Not quite the elegance of Ruby and Barbosa, but a great style all of her own.
A different style, and that's what is really good about the women's floor. You express your own personality. You don't need to be like everybody else.
And they loved it. She's got her best score of the championships so far, 13.566. So it pushes Ruby Evans down into 4th place. But what a great floor final this has been.
Well, she upped the difficulty there, Christine, and it obviously paid off. 5-7, gone up 3/10. Top 3 all had 5-7 on difficulty.
So there we are. First, the gold goes to Ana Barbosa, silver to Minella Esposito, and third to Alba Petisco from Spain. Ruby Evans settles for 4th place, but a great final.
4th, the hardest place to finish, of course, but Ruby Evans gave it everything out there. So pleased for Barbosa that she took the gold. But yeah, shall we have a little look back at Ruby's floor routine, if you wouldn't mind talking us through this? Beth, great start. I mean, she said she wasn't confident with the dancing, but I thought she smashed it.
I was going to say, when she says she's not, she finds that harder, actually, she sold this routine so well. And not only that, she then had the mixture of tumbles. She uses the double straight, very powerful first tumble, very little to deduct on that. But then she uses very different tumbles compared to the other gymnasts. She uses a lot of forward tumbling.
Yes.
So here you can see she uses the combination of the straight front into the double twist, which is a very difficult tumble to perform. But again, very little for deduction-wise. She sold it. The leaps were there, the elegance, the tumbles. I really enjoyed that routine.
Keep an eye out for where you think the inquiry might have gone in for. And have you any idea? Because
yeah, without seeing her quality, she obviously had a 5-5 one day and a 5-4 another day. So there'll be something within the leaps, whether she's not quite connected something or not quite got round fully, it will have downgraded it by a 10th. Because she only went for the double air, it's not like she's gone for a triple and not been given it. Yeah. But her coaches will have known that she's capable of getting that 5-5, and it's always worth putting an inquiry in if you really feel that the gymnast wasn't awarded what they should have been.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, even with the 0.1 raise, she still wouldn't have beat Petisco, which I guess is something you can take away from a situation like that, Sam.
Yeah, for sure, and I think she'll just be incredibly proud of herself. Yeah. For me, that was my favourite floor routine of that final. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in dance. I've got 2 left feet, but in terms of the tumbling, the actual technique of her tumbling was incredible, and I think she's going to have a real bright future, and certainly for the women's programme, something that stood out for me this championships is Ruby's performances.
Yeah, Esposito, she's performed. It's been an up and down competition for her, really, getting the gold in the all-around and then the problems that she had in some of the finals. But then she came out and really set that bar, didn't she, high?
It is so difficult to stay on top of your game the whole time. I mean, it's 5 days in a row, and you're up and down because you get the adrenaline of getting a medal, then you have to calm yourself down. For her, taking that all-around title will have meant so much to her. Obviously, she then had the mishap on bars and beam, but it shows her strength of character to come back out today and be able to show that floor routine.
Absolutely. Well, Ruby was indeed in great company. She needs to feel comfortable in that company now because she's definitely one of them. She's performed brilliantly out in Leipzig and she's with Betty Glover now. So let's hear from Ruby Evans.
Ruby, you said you always wanted to make a floor final. You've done it. My first question is, did you enjoy it out there?
Yeah, I loved it. Well, it's my new floor and I performed it every time I went. I got better and yeah.
Do you think that was a fair score in the end?
Yeah, but no. Like, I feel like they can be quite harsh, but that's what it is.
Everybody in our studio was saying that your tumbling was absolute next level. Now, I know you love doing your tumbling. You're not as keen on the dancing, but did you enjoy it though? Because it looked like it went really well, the dancing element.
Yeah, I did. I think this floor is much better and I can dance it a lot.
Maybe the dancing is starting to grow on you a little bit. What have you learned out there?
Oh, just to enjoy it, I think. Like, I didn't feel that nervous. I just thought I have the opportunity, I'm just going to take it and enjoy it.
Well, I know we're going to be seeing a lot more from you in the future, but this was your last, obviously, competition in the Europeans. How do you wrap up this Europeans?
I think I did a pretty good job. I got my new floor out there. I showed a bit of confidence on beam, good vaults. Bars we're just going to forget about.
Smashed it, Ruby. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, out in the arena in Leipzig, the lads are just warming up for the high bar final. This is your speciality, Sam. I bet you wish you were out there, mate. I bet you really do. But 3 medals yourself at the Europeans on high bar. What are you expecting to see from the new code here, and how may it have changed a little bit?
Well, it's going to be really exciting, Matt. I think the code's changed in that they've really upgraded some of the release and catch moves. So hopefully you're going to see more of a variety. The gymnasts are only able to perform 2 release and catch moves from the same family. So in the past, someone might specialise in a Kachev element or a Kovac where you do the double somersault. Now you have to show all of those release skills. And again, they've upgraded the triple back. I think the top qualifier, Robert Trevorgel from Lithuania, has added in a triple back for this new code. So that'll be very exciting to watch.
Oh, fantastic. Well, he's starting us off, so you won't have long to wait to find out, Sam. That's the good news. Just tightening the hand guards there, bits of leather that strap round, and we were having a conversation the other day just about your handmade hand guards that you had a real connection with from your coach who used to make them for you.
Yeah, my coach Sergey used to make them by hand to fit my hands, so yeah, really cool. When I put them on, I knew it was time to go to work and swing around the bar, but yeah, I mean, this is why I'm here, Matt, to watch the high bar. It's my favourite event.
You've had a long wait. It's been a long championship, but finally it's the individual apparatus final, the high bar. So here we go, the final of the competition. Some might say that we've saved the best till last. Let's find out what happens. We'll head over to Craig Heap and Christine Still, and I'll come and join you. Hang on tight. It's the high bar final.
Thank you, Matt. Yes, this is the piece, the real crowd pleaser. The climax of the gymnastic finals for the men, where they fly through the air. First gymnast qualified in top spot. Will certainly, no doubt, want to put in a performance of a lifetime to pick up a European title. Just waiting for the judges. Gymnasts get the green light. Quite a tall gymnast from Lithuania. Won't need his coach to get up onto the apparatus. So 8 skills. The difficulty and the flying needs to be packed together. So first up to get this European final underway, Robert Torgal.
Oh, that was original to start. Good squat dislocation with full turn. You have to finish in handstand. He did that again, and now into the 2 Kachev combinations. You have to have close bar works. He did his Stalder there. Pirouettes, just the hop full. Here we go, triple back, very good landing. I mean, with only 8 skills needed now, it's packed full, isn't it?
Absolutely rammed with difficulty, and yes, there was the triple back, high up into the arena, squeezing in 3 somersaults, and he managed to land it.
Yeah, no 0.1 bonus like he got in qualification, but it is a very complex routine, this, because he opts for an unusual start, the 1.5 twist, but this is where the judges will pick up the deductions. The squat in between the hands into a full turn. So you've got to aim to the handstand. He does a half turn now, and then he changes the body shape, and he starts the Kachevs. As Sam was saying there, gymnasts are only allowed to do 2 releases from the same family, so that's the Kachev he did in a straight and the straddle position. So he only released the bar twice, but then this huge dismount. 1, 2, 3 somersaults. Got to open out, spot the landing. Just that little hop forward.
His timing out was perfect, but it was almost like his legs didn't quite have enough strength to resist the forces coming down.
Well, I think Sam was talking about that, the height you're coming from now and you're landing. I mean, the bar's 8'6" in old money, and it goes well above that, and you're falling and rotating. I mean, you're taking a lot of force through your legs. And he's a big lad.
Well, he's 30 years old. He was a European champion back in 2020. Took a silver medal at last year's European Championships. He's got one of the highest difficulties in the final, behind the next gymnast. Yeah, what can the highest qualifier score here? Won't be a bonus for his landing, so it's going to be close. Again, there's going to be tenths in the medals. It seemed to affect the routines too much, the reduction from 10 to 8 moves. 14.3. It's a big score.
It is a very big score.
He's upped his difficulty, I think.
No, same, 5'4", 5'4". Obviously, those handstands I thought were really good from the squat dislocate.
Well, Noah Seifert is next, the second highest qualifier, 26 years old. He took a 6th place in the all-around final. How close to 14 can he get here?
Well, he actually led the qualification and had a disappointing rest of the competition. It's very exciting on this piece of apparatus.
Oh no, that's the wrong way.
The thing is, you have to hit the handstand, otherwise you're going to come out with a massive deduction. And it's such a shame because in the qualification, he was brilliant. And since then, he's fallen apart. Such a shame. I mean, that is perfection.
Yeah.
It's unusual to see them not swing into some sort of exit, isn't it?
Normally you would just change your hands, but I think his head's not been in the game since he topped qualification a good few days ago. So that's a full mark gone. And he won't get the skill unless he repeats it again. With the half turn, straight into the full twisting Kovacs. Now that's good. Difficulty, he'll wind up again. Watch this, changing shape. Beautiful flight and height. Change the body shape into the Steinemann swing. Full of originality. This gymnast has got huge potential. And another triple back. Oh, a little hop there. He was so close. Not the championships he would have wanted, but I've been really impressed with this young man.
Yeah, absolutely. The frustration, that first initial part of that routine. Gosh, he's so angry with himself. And when you look at the quality of his work, Chris, and you knew what was to come, you can totally understand why.
Oh, absolutely. He got back on, and absolutely gave us a fantastic exhibition of high bar work. And that triple back, I've never seen a better one, because they sort of tend to plonk up and down a bit, don't they? Whereas that one really rotated well. I was really very impressed with that high bar work.
Yes, I'm going to say a real understanding of how the bar works. And I like this routine because it has got lots of original work in it.
I just wonder if by topping qualification on day one, he just sort of then put so much pressure on himself.
And then also he probably thought he didn't deliver in the all-round competition, and it was his opportunity to take a medal here again, putting extra pressure on himself. He doesn't look a happy chappy at all.
Well, what a shame. He tried to claw his way back in the all-round competition after falling, but couldn't achieve much better than a 6th place finish. And it's game over as far as the high bar medal is concerned too for him.
One of the things I think that going down to 8 moves has done, it's raised the execution scores a bit. So instead of having 10 moves to deduct from, you've only got 8 to deduct from, and actually they're a bit higher, these execution scores.
Well, 7.666 for execution, 13.066 for Seifert's high bar. Joel Platter is next. Now, he could surprise here. He's got a 5-6 difficulty, and if he hits, he's the 5th highest qualifier, but he could well be in with a shout.
Quickly into the one-arm swings. Oh, that was a little bit late, wasn't it? Winds up.
Oh, dear.
Lovely straight body and full twist, but he didn't get the second hand on till he was almost under the bar. And you really have got to catch in the top half of the move.
I do think this gymnast is very exciting, full of power, but a little bit erratic. The first skill,
wild, yeah.
He did the squat dislocate with a half turn, and his legs were a bit untidy, and you could see then in the action he was no chance of hanging on from that.
Well, he's up again, and he'll have a go at another release and catch.
Oh, same thing again. The thing is, when you know you haven't been credited it, you feel you'll have another go.
Yeah. I think the thing is, it just looks like it's coming down a little bit too quick. He's a little bit close to the bar. Look, you can probably see from here, it's that hand that's coming round.
Well, in fact,
and he almost headbutts the bar.
That was very close, wasn't it?
Is he going to carry on, or will he do it again? No, he's carrying on.
It's just the straight this time, the straight catch-up. Here's the dismount. Double twisting, double straight.
What a shame. It was the case of all or nothing for Joel Platter. He did get a bronze medal 2 years ago at the Euros. Back to the gym.
Well, this is probably the downside of an 8-skill routine. The gymnasts really have to put all the skills in a shorter space of time. That would probably be the only negative I would probably think to it. I mean, I don't know your thoughts, guys.
Well, yes, and I think that you're going to go for the 8 most difficult moves you can do, as opposed to pad it out a little bit with a few in the middle.
And just give yourself that breathing space.
Give a breather, yes.
Get your bearings a bit. And certainly with something like high bar, where it's very disorientating, and you're sort of, the world's spinning around and you're upside down and you're releasing and catching it. You know, if it's such an intense experience anyway.
Well, on the high bar, it's very like any other piece. There's no momentarily pause in the routine. Even floor on the tumbles, you'll land, step into the corner, maybe on the pommel horse if you do a single leg up to handstand. But that's about it. I mean, once you're swinging around that bar, you're only getting off at the dismount if you do it correctly.
And this is the first competition these guys have had on this new ruling, and people will be speculating how to get the best scores, and it'll take the 4 years for it to settle down, for everybody to realise how to play this code.
Yeah.
How to play the code points.
But Joel Platter then, the 3rd gymnast up, 27 years old, from Spain. He scores a 10.166. So Robert Svorogal of Lithuania still leads on 14.3. Noah Seifert in second with 13.066, and Joel Platter 10.166 currently. Well, Marius Georgiou of Cyprus is next. He was the European champion on this piece back in 2022. He's in the Olympic final as well, and he was the 4th highest qualifier for this final, but as we've seen, scores are lower than expected here.
Very exciting gymnast. Not opted for the all-around competition. That was very nice. And the half turn straight into the handstand. He'll wind up now. There's a big release coming. Watch this. Changing shape. Kicks over. Full twist in the straight position. That's how you do it. And he's going again. Beautiful extension in the tuck. In-bar work the gymnasts have to do for one of the requirements. Into the forward long swing. Lovely full turn around the one arm. A really varied routine. He's a dismount to go. Winds up, kicks in. Oh, and he nearly stopped that dismount. But that was a fantastic routine.
That is going to be up there, that's for sure. Is it good enough to go ahead of Robert Svorogal of Lithuania? 14.3 is that golden score at the moment. We'll have to go some.
Well, difficulty-wise, they're very comparable. And having watched the previous two gymnasts fall, he showed plenty of mental strength to get on then and go right through.
Great extension on these releases, Christine.
Yeah, you can really see how he drives the feet across the bar rather than up and down. And then in the tuck position. Nice and tidy, actually, with the legs together.
That's the routine for me at the moment. I'm not sure if the judges will agree, but I think the construction, the variety, the originality.
Well, he was the all-around champion last year. We did see him in the all-round final. It's great to see him here on high bar. Tough score to beat that, though, 14.3 on the Lithuanian. Score is in, it's 13.866. He's into second. He likes it.
I liked it more.
Yeah, you see an execution score of 8.5 there. We were rarely seeing execution in the eights last cycle.
Well, that's what Torgal seems to have above the rest of them. His execution 8-9.
Well, there'll be a warm-up for the second half of the finalists. And then this will wrap up the European Championships. Andreas Toba getting himself set and ready. He'll be the second gymnast to go from Germany in this second half of the competition. Adam Masil's made this final as well.
He had a 4-6. I don't think Azil will challenge with that, but interesting, Toba and Mansart of France stuck the landings in qualification.
Yeah, Mansart is very handy. There he is, just 18 years old. He's made a real name for himself at these championships. 14-1 scored in the all-round competition.
Well, the German Toba is the only one with the difficulty to match Svogal. But he's got to get through the routine.
Yeah. Well, Mansart was the last to warm up. So Mezerosh will be the first gymnast up in this second half of this high bar European final. So Christopher Mezerosh chalking up. Took a bronze in the all-round a few days ago. Was also in that mixed team final, and they finished 10th. But he made the high bar final 2 years ago at the Europeans. He's back again. And he's been performing a 5-2 difficulty. If he can achieve his qualification score, Meszaros should be in the top 3. But as we've seen, full of trials and tribulations, this high bar final. Brace yourself. Here we go.
Well, very impressive all-around gymnast. And that was an impressive start as well. Here's the big skill, the straight Kovacs. The somersault over the bar to regrasp. And with the full twist, but in the tuck. Just a little bent arms working out, but here comes the Kachev section. Lovely straight Kachev over the bar. Another one straddled. So he's shown good variety to different types of releases. Good hop, full, showing his different grips, which you have to show. Close bar work as well. Here comes this dismount. Double twisting, double straight, just a little hop. But he is a very steady gymnast, isn't he? He knows his work well.
Yes, confident, yeah. Doesn't look, no doubt in his routine.
Well, he's just perfect build for the all-around, isn't he?
But to be fair, he didn't do the crazy releases, did he?
Well, I think he did. I mean, 2 Kovacs, 2 Kachevs. I mean, he had a 5-2 on difficulty. Yeah, I think there's a bit of potential. Put my teeth back in. But if anything, probably it was a little close on some of those Kovacs. But we were talking, they haven't really excelled Hungary in the all-around since Zoltan Supala a long, long time ago. But this gymnast is very exciting.
And you're right, Craig, he is perfect physique and seems mentally attuned to be an all-round gymnast. Like you say, not the highs or the lows. He looks a very steady competitor.
And he's only 23.
23.
Yeah.
Well, we've watched him we've seen him since quite young on the scene, haven't we?
I think that what's happened over the past few years is the rest of his all-round competition has significantly improved. I think we first saw him making floor finals and maybe thinking, oh, he's a floor specialist. But look at him now, yeah. Be good. I just think it won't be enough, I don't think, to go into first.
No, I don't think so either.
Well, it's been a while since Hungary have been on the medal podium. He's sitting there at the moment. 13.533 for Christopher Meszaros. Last time Hungary were up there was back in 2018. There's a huge roar from the home crowd for Andreas Toba, 34-year-old German who got a silver at the European Championships back in 2021.
Lovely turn, the full twist, the squat half into the handstand, straight into the full twisting Kovac. So he'll get a combination, bonus, change of shape, straight Kachev, and again, straddle Kachev. Lovely hop 1.5 turn. It's a dismount to go. Winds up, kicks in, double twisting, double back.
Oh!
He stopped the landing!
That's a bonus! That is definitely a bonus, and you can see the emotion, what it means for him. He's absolutely nailed it. It was huge. High on the difficulty, great on the execution with the bonus.
Absolutely tremendous. We've watched him for so many years.
Fall off. Yeah, that's fall off, and it just goes to prove if you keep going, one day it'll come.
Well, the golden score at the moment is 14.3. 13.866 for silver, 13.533 for bronze.
I think
Gotta be up there.
the execution I don't think they'll be up at 8.9. It won't be the top on the execution, I don't think. I think that'll just hold him back a little bit.
Yeah, a couple of the release and recaptures were a little bit close.
Scrappy in the legs as well when he caught, but I mean, talk about entertaining the crowd.
The crowd don't care about that.
No, they don't. Brilliant routine.
Oh, fantastic stuff, and wonderful to see the energy change now. So much dejection in the first half of the final, and now with celebrations. Still 2 gymnasts left to go in this final. But what do the top 3 look like now?
13.533. Mezerosh currently holding on to the bronze.
Oh, there's a scream. 14 is the score. He's gone into second. Well, that is a fantastic score from Andreas Toba. He's back in that silver medal winning position that he was in back in 2021. But for how long? 2 gymnasts left to go. One is Adam Asil and the other is Anthony Monsar. Well, the golden boy from the all-round, Adam Asil, is next to go. He got a bronze medal on high bar back in 2021. Gold on rings also at these championships. He's having a good time here.
Well, I would say it's been his championships in many respects. That was a lovely hop over. He was a little bit sideways, but he certainly went for the handstand position. And again, here comes the releases, the straight Kachev and the straddle Kachev. Winds up for the big dismount. Just that little pace, but he's been so consistent this championships, hasn't he? Yeah. Right on top of his game.
Well, he knows that he won't challenge for a medal with that routine, but you're right. All-around champion. That's what he came here for. Brilliant joint on the rings.
Yeah, and away safely from the high bar.
Yeah.
What a brilliant high bar final, and there's still one more to go, and the last gymnast could well challenge. But great form, Chris, in parts of that routine.
Oh, yeah. He's not your usual high bar worker, is long and flighty. He's a typical rings worker working the high bar, isn't he? Yeah. But he does it really well.
I think he's probably one of the only gymnasts in this final that needs lifting up by his coach.
Yeah. But he maximises everything he does. That's what I like.
He does.
Yes, yeah. His good pieces are really, really good, and then he fights and works at the pieces that he doesn't find so easy.
Well, that's why he's such a good all-rounder, isn't it? That's the...
He's as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah.
And his weakest link is still good enough to get him in a European final. That's the top 8.
Yep.
So, yeah. But look at Toba. 34, did you say, Matt?
13.633. He's fourth for now, with one more to go. Yeah, 34, Toba.
But always good-humoured as well. In fact, there's great camaraderie amongst the gymnasts.
So I think because it's a final round, they're like, we're off after this.
Well, Andreas Toba is guaranteed a medal from Germany. He's in second place at the moment. Marius Georgiou, 13.866. But this young lad at 18 years old, Anthony Monsar of France, can challenge. He was junior European champion on this piece of apparatus last season, and he's the third highest qualifier.
Well, expect some fireworks from this young man. That was nice, the full turn, close to the handstand. Winds up now, first big release. Beautiful full stretch. Change of shape, flies over the bar in the straight Kachev and the straddle Kachev. Lovely position there, the squat dislocate into the handstand, just dips the head in, adds a bit of original work. A dismount to go, winds up, kicks in, high, and sticks the landing, double twisting, double back to finish. He'll get a 0.1 bonus, Christine, and 13.766 in qualification. That was good.
And that bonus might well give him that bronze medal, I think. He swings beautifully.
Yeah, 5 on difficulty in qualification. So it might just be the difficulty that separates him from the top spot.
Been very, very impressed with this new generation of French gymnasts. This lovely work. So stylish, technically so accurate.
Interesting, only 2 gymnasts out of 8 have actually stuck the dismount off the high bar. Currently in 3rd place, Georgiou of Cyprus with 13.866, who's looking slightly concerned there because he knows it was a good routine.
Looking pensive.
Another well-constructed routine from the young Frenchman.
I do think actually having the gymnasts sat together like this has added a little drama to the scores, rather than, you know, when you're chasing around the arena to find the picture of them to show.
All,
yeah, this has been good.
Like a holding pen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's good, 13.966. The young Frenchman pips Georgiou to the bronze.
Well, what a final. The final of this championships, and it's been absolutely excellent.
Yeah, and I want to wish all the best to the Great Britain adult gymnastics team that are out there in Germany, representing Great Britain, competing alongside these guys. Wish them the very best of luck. It just goes to prove that gymnastics is a sport for all ages. But I'm not joining your team, you can forget that. So, confirmation of the final event, the men's high bar at these 2025 European Gymnastics Championships. The gold goes to Robert Torgal of Lithuania, silver to Andreas Tober of Germany, and the bronze to Anthony Mansard of France.
What a way to wrap up these European finals. Absolutely superb. And Sam, you did wonder if Torgal would do the triple. He did, and he landed on the gold medal. He was the first gymnast in this final. Let's have a look at his routine, Sam. And I mean, it was impressive right from the beginning, wasn't it? Incredibly clean routine.
You can see him do the Rabalko, which is the 1.5 turn.
Yeah.
Again, that's a skill that's been brought back in at this code of points. He excels in doing that skill, and his Kachevs, which are his release and catches that come now, are so high.
Look at them. Yeah.
Just incredible. And he connects both of them. And then he does his in-bar skills here, does his full turn, and then we're going to see his triple back, which again, it's such a difficult dismount to land. And he gets it just about spot on, nearly gets that bonus. And in the end, it turned out to be such a clean routine, even with the hop on his dismount, nobody could catch him.
And Andreas Tober, who took the silver medal, is retiring today. I mean, what a way to finish, Beth.
I know, and I mean, he's been on the team and served the German team very well over his years. So to be able to retire in front of a home crowd with a medal and with a fantastic routine, you can see the height on these catch-ups. The difference between him and Robert was the fact that obviously Robert is connecting stuff. So, but do you know what? I don't think he will mind. He'll be very happy with that silver medal to finish his career.
Yeah, and look at this for a dismount.
The 0.1 bonus.
There's the bonus. Imagine retiring with a bonus. That's the bonus you want for your retirement, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing routine there. I actually competed with Andy in Germany. He was part of my team when I competed in the Bundesliga. So for me, really cool moment to see him finish that way.
Well, yeah, what a career he's had. And then from one end of a career to the other, yeah, with this young lad here, Monsart, 18 years old. And, you know, we've said this is a championships where you often make your mark, the first international after the Olympics. And this lad, I mean, the world's going to be talking about him, Sam.
Incredibly talented young gymnast. I think the French gymnast did incredibly well at the recent Junior European Championships last year. I've been told to look out for him. One thing I'm going to really be keeping my eye on is the French team as we head into LA. I'm starting to see some really good gymnastics coming from these young guys, and his high ball work was incredible. I mean, technically, not many deductions, and again, you know, the last thing the judge is going to see is this stuck dismount, and it was a perfect one as well.
Gosh, piling the pressure on the likes of Saladino as well in the team, but a huge talent. Let's go.
So great to see so many of the coaches that were past champions. His coach there who put him up to the high bar, Thierry Ames, was in the 1996 Atlanta floor final.
Look at you, Sam, that's why you're here. We love stats like that. But, OK, well, yesterday we watched Luke Whitehouse step out onto the floor looking to win his third consecutive European title. Here's what happened next. Here's Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse. Can he retain his title here? Going for gold number 3 at the Euros on floor.
Hold your breath. Oh, not too bad. Chest down a little bit. It's a massive tumble, gives him huge difficulty. Double twist into double front, just that hop forwards. He has the most difficult routine in this final alongside teammate and training partner Harry Hepworth. Really need to be precise on the landings. That was very precise. Double pike front somersault. This routine's getting better as it's going forwards. The balance, one of the new requirements on the floor. Big triple twist, that's good, nice and secure. Final tumble. He'll have to stick it. And he does! Well, a few little mistakes, errors at the start.
It's going to take some beating, that, though. It was a great routine from the lad from Leeds.
What a great performance.
14.5 is a great score for Great Britain's Luke Whitehouse.
That's a big score, and that's going to take some beating.
It is. Well, this lad here is one of his main competitors, Lorenzo Min Casali of Italy. Great with his execution. He's down on the difficulty a little bit in comparison to Luke.
And he chooses to start the routine with the balance. Steadies himself. Up comes his first tumble. Super. Oh, just that pace out. You lose a 0.1 for the step and a 0.1 for being out as well. So quite costly. But that was as clean as you like. Twists and double somersaults combined, and another precise landing. The gymnasts have to show their flexibility as well as their ability to balance. And as we said earlier, The 8 most difficult elements added to make the total difficulty score. That was a super 2.5 twist into straight front. He floats his tumbles. Oh, full twisting double back. Just a little scurry back there. Well, it had its moments.
It's going to be very, very close. Nobody's holding back. They're going all out. But it's those landings that are so vital. 13.966. Well, he's in second as it stands at the moment. A real challenge for a medal will come now from Great Britain's Harry Hepworth. He's just 21 years old. He's the 3rd highest qualifier for floor. Come on, Harry.
Well, he's negotiated the balance. And the huge first tumble, triple twisting double back. Scurries to the next tumble. Double twisting, double straight. Well, we haven't seen a flicker yet on those landings. Come on, Harry. 3.5 twist along the side path. Tremendous tumbling skill. But look, you can see he's great on the rings as well. That beautiful, strong position. And of course, the non-acrobatic moves are very important as well. But it's the tumbling that's the exciting bit. Oh, look at that. Twisting into double front. He just made it look so easy. And there's the triple. My goodness me, he's on fire today.
This is a huge routine, this.
Has to harness this. Harness this dismount, double twisting, double back, just a little bounce on that final tumble. But Harry Hepworth, that was magnificent.
Wow, well, surely he's going to be up on the medal podium, but the question is, what colour is the medal? Wow, his teammate and his gym mate. I mean, Harry and Luke are both from a club in Leeds, and oh my word, has Harry just nipped the gold from Luke? 14.366. It's second for Harry Hepworth. It's Leeds 1 and 2.
European champion for the hat-trick, Luke Whitehouse, and silver for Harry Hepworth of Great Britain as well.
Well, what a floor final it was, and earlier today our triple gold medalist caught up to reflect on his achievement with Betty Glover.
Pressure is a privilege at the end of the day, and I just use that to my advantage, and I go out there. In my head, I'm the best in the world on floor, so going out there, just show off my routine and just do it to the best of my ability.
Luke Whitehouse going for gold number 3 at the Euros on floor. It's going to take some beating that.
He'll have to stick it. And he does!
You won your 3rd European floor title on the bounce, the first British man to do that. That's quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's really special. I mean, coming out yesterday and doing what I did, all the hard work has it's paid off.
Has it sunk in?
No, I don't think it'll sink in for a while. It's pretty incredible achievement, making history yesterday.
You've won quite a few European medals now, haven't you? You haven't won a medal on the world stage yet. What do you need to do in order to achieve that?
Just keep doing what I'm doing. Hopefully a little upgrade on floor, get that start value even bigger. End of the year, hopefully the World Championships, I'll go out there and take that title.
Talk us through that upgrade, because already your floor routine is so incredibly difficult. How do you make it even harder?
To be fair, it was last night, Baz was messaging me, he was like, we need to get this floor routine even bigger.
Oh, wow.
And I think maybe a triple twist, maybe, forwards, it'll get that difficulty up even more.
You're very confident, I can sense it. So you're thinking a world medal could be coming your way then?
100%.
And you've also won gold in the men's team final. Is this GB saying to the world, look guys, this is what we can do?
Yeah, I think it is. I think that team final was incredible. It's a new team. We didn't at the beginning know how well we would gel together, but it's been really natural. And I think we're just going to keep growing as a team, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the future.
been an incredible rise for Luke, hasn't it, in his sort of since he debuted as a senior, because it was actually last year's Euros that got him into the Olympic team, Beth.
Yeah, it basically kind of showcased to the selectors exactly what he can do. You're a double European champion. It's a very difficult decision to then leave that gymnast at home. What I love about Luke is the confidence that he's now got. He was very quiet a couple of years ago, but listening to that interview, he's quite happy to say, I want to win that world title. I want to be out there. I want to put this difficulty. And yeah, I really like that.
Well, it's different, isn't it, Sam, when that confidence comes from proven results and you actually think, oh, actually, no, I am worthy of this. And then you can take it forward, as opposed to thinking in those earlier stages of your career, wow, I'm just delighted to be here. It's a different mentality.
100%, and I think you can see that from the way that a lot of the gymnasts on the men's team in particular this week have spoken about their gymnastics. They're not shy about saying that they want to win team medals on the global stage. And as individuals want to really improve their performances. Luke's already talking about more difficulty so he can challenge on the world stage. I think that's brilliant to see from these young gymnasts. It's very inspiring for the next generation that will be watching this competition on the TV. I mean, it's incredible because I didn't hear gymnasts before me talk in that way.
Yeah. And even just thinking back to the likes of Jake on vault and what he's achieved today, you know, putting out like the hardest vault in the world and then getting a bonus for landing it. I mean, it's all achievable, Beth.
It absolutely is now, and I think that confidence will only grow over the next 4 years leading into LA.
Yeah. Well, on Wednesday, we saw the first mixed team final. This is 16 teams where they're whittled down to 2. And the great British pair of Jake Jarman and Ruby Evans took on the German pair of Timo Eder and Karina Schönmeier in a showdown to decide the gold medal.
The gold medal match between Great Britain and Germany. Just 19 years old, Timo Eder for Germany.
Well, if he can match his parallel bar routine on style. Oh, that's lovely, half turn. Winds up, here's the big release coming. Full twisting catch, he went for it. Just a little bit loose on the legs and the catch. Change the shape, Kovac. He is going for it, Matt.
Good
Lovely
lad.
straight catch, Ev, over the top of the bar. 3 release and catch. Squat dislocate right into the handstand.
He's through.
It's just a little bit short on the couple of the handstands. Lovely one-arm work. It's a dismount for a medal. What's it going to be? Double twisting, double back. Just a little step, big routine, but there were a few little errors.
Absolute respect to that young lad, though. He didn't hold back. He was going all out.
No, it was going for broke, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's laid down the gauntlet and he's piled on the pressure for his teammates. Oh, my word. Karina Schönmeier trying to remain composed for her beam routine.
Oh, very brave, big front somersault mount and then cleanly through the 2 jumps. Swiftly into this acrobatic series. Oh, and she had a fight there, but she held it on. Great flip layout. 1 leap. Just a little pause before the second leap. Everyone holding their breath. Here the spin. Just the 1.5, not so difficult.
Well done, though. She's getting through it.
Yes, strong on the free cartwheel. She's holding her nerves, certainly. And, and
yes!
the side
Well
summy, well held. Lovely arm movements. Here comes the dismount, the full twisting gainer. Off the end, there were a few errors, but she fought very, very hard.
What a rescue!
Got to be the grittiest performance of the competition.
25.566 is the score for Jake Jarman and Ruby Evans to beat. Great Britain now going for gold in this gold medal match. Jake Jarman needs every single 10th here on high bar.
That's nice. Good position into the handstand. It's a piece of apparatus he's been working on. That's fingertips on the straight catch, Ev. And again, straddle. Good straight arms. Not the most difficult routine for Jake, but very, very stylish. He whips around the high bar. It's the dismount to go.
He needs to nail this.
Winds up, kicks in, double twisting, double back. Oh! And he does! He's got every 10th possible there.
That was a huge routine from Jake Jarman from Great Britain.
Wow, that felt, for me, one of the best high bar routines I've seen Jake do.
Well, Ruby's made a senior debut not long ago. Well, she's going to have to put all of the experience that she's had on the international stage into this routine. She has to deliver. Guaranteed a silver, but can Great Britain win gold in the first ever mixed team final? Let's find out.
Well, that was a lovely mount. The jump back to hold. She's an elegant gymnast. This is rather important, this spin. 1, 2. Well done, Ruby. Double spin. Good extension through the ankles. Good rhythm as she works. Lovely split in both those leaps. Now this is so important. It's always difficult. Flip, lay out, very smooth. Well done, Ruby. Second double spin. She's piling on the difficulty. Very nicely performed. I have to say, her execution, her toe point is quite improved. Good, strong on the free walkover.
She's still on.
Yes, she held it well.
Come on, Ruby.
Here we go, round off, double twist. Well, that was a really good routine from Ruby. Not so difficult as some, but she's clean and beautiful gymnastics.
I do think Ruby had a few less wobbles.
Well,
it is, I couldn't call it.
You can't call it. 25.566 is the score that Great Britain have to beat. It's Germany who take the gold. Great Britain finish with a silver medal. Just a 10th in it.
But what a great competition, and like move for move, gymnast for gymnast.
Yeah.
You couldn't have written it better, really.
Just 0.1 in it, but it was wonderful that Germany got to take that first ever mixed team final in front of the home crowd, where it was trialled. The idea is to test this event all the way up to the Olympics in LA 2028. On the face of it, what did you think about it? Because for those that didn't see it, this is a knockout competition, basically, isn't it? With the earlier rounds, you knock out, and you end up with 2 medal matches at the end. Something completely new.
I think it was a great addition to the programme. I think my only concern is where it fits in the programme, because depending on the amount of gymnasts they use, which gymnast is eligible for it, it could make for a very long programme for your number 1 gymnast in each team. So I love the competition. I think it's going to be a great addition to the gymnastics programme.
How about the camaraderie, Sam?
I think it's brilliant. I think what you're going to have is you're going to have male gymnasts and female gymnasts tactically working together on how do we get into the next rounds, and then have we got our best event last? What gives us the best chance of winning? So I really like that element. My concern, like Beth's, is that we had a lot of gymnasts pulling out of the all-around final or the mixed team to save themselves for the apparatus finals. So maybe figuring out where best to put that in the programme, like Beth said, is something that they'll need to think about moving forward, because we want to see the best gymnasts in every competition.
Yeah. Would you do any format tweaks to it? Because, the jury's out, isn't it, about whether or not that last round should be a full medal match, or there should be two separate kind of gold and silvers, and then third and fourth.
I'd like to see both runs so that I can almost compare both, and then also whether you have more than one gymnast, so 2 women and 2 men.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
put it out there.
Put your bids in. Why not? Well, Harry Hepworth has had a brilliant championships out in Leipzig. A team gold, a silver on floor, and Betty Glover caught up with him after his 3rd final vault.
Harry, that was incredibly close. You were just outside the medals. How are you reflecting on that?
You know what? The other guys, they did their job. They stuck everything. Jake stuck that first vault again. That's the hardest vault in the world, and I couldn't be prouder of him.
What about you, though? Let's talk about you. You were so close to doing that triple twist, weren't you? What were you thinking in your head?
Well, the pivotal moment was maybe when I did my drag and I didn't get the score that I really wanted. So if I did the triple, I'd have had to have scored something daft to even get in the medals still. So played it safe. I feel like a bit of a cop-out, but got my job done in the end.
Was it a case of running down that runway and you were thinking, should I do it? Should I do it?
Pretty much. I was still debating on doing it as I jumped onto the board. So, yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking in the end.
And look, you've won quite a few medals at this European Championships. Didn't quite make it in the vault. So are you walking away from this feeling proud of yourself?
Feeling proud of myself, definitely. But I also know there's a lot more work to be done. I've still got other goals that I want to achieve by the end of this year. And I'll just go into Worlds feeling strong, powerful, energetic.
Well, we can't wait to see it. Thank you, Harry.
Thank you.
Well, that is a revelation. Debating which vault to do as you're running up to the vault. I mean, how do you comprehend that?
I can't really get my head around that, Matt, because I never performed a vault that difficult. But I guess if you're the 3rd best in the world currently, an Olympic bronze medal, maybe you're just levels above everybody else, but that shows his self-confidence. Maybe not making that decision, but maybe at the same time that lack of experience. He's still so young. Very, very exciting he was debating doing that vault, though, because that would put him right up there with Jake in terms of difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got that many vaults in the locker, it's amazing to be able to choose. And then it's sort of tactic-wise, wherever you're sitting in the final, you can actually then just sort of either go for the easier option as far as you're concerned, which is just enough to get into the medals or even win the competition.
Exactly, and you can play that game in qualification as well, using your easier vaults just to get you into the final. We saw Max use that tactic so many times, changing his difficulty at the last minute, depending where he was up in the finals.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's been a brilliant championships. We've thoroughly enjoyed some incredible gymnastics. As we know, it's kind of the start of this Olympic cycle. There's lots more to come. But if I was to put you on the spot right now and say, what's your best moment from these championships, apart from obviously covering it with us, Sam, what would it be?
It would have to be Luke going back-to-back 3 times on floor. Yeah. For me, that's the hardest event to do that on, because there's so much room for deduction. You know, every tumble you could potentially fall. So for me, that, I think, will stand the test of time, and I don't think anyone's going to be able to replicate that in men's gymnastics on the floor for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, he had just a few little moments in there, kept his composure, and then did amazingly well in the second half of his routine to be able to win that gold again for the 3rd time. Beth, how about you?
I mean, obviously that was incredible. On the women's side, to see Esposito taking that back-to-back all-around title. It's hard enough to take an all-around title, but to do it back-to-back, and we saw how mistakes can creep in. So she had to hold it together for that all-around, because we saw in the bar final and the beam final how very quickly it can go wrong. So to keep your composure and take those back-to-back titles.
I obviously can't have the same ones as you. I've got to choose my own. I'm going to go with Jake Jarman and his first vault, because I loved the first one they did in the World Championships. That phase, the whole lot. Just have a look at this. I mean, you're going to have to wait a long time to see a better vault than this in the world, in my eyes.
You're going to have to do a montage of his reactions.
The form through the air.
The way he nails it. I'm loving this edition of the bonus. I think it's a joy for commentators when suddenly you see this and then that landing. Absolutely superb.
Incredible, Matt. And I was telling you off air that at his gymnastics club, he doesn't even have a full vault run up. So the fact that he's become the best vaulter in the world and has the most difficult vault is all the more incredible.
What does he do? Open the fire exit? Just run in from the car park. Well, anyway, if you haven't had enough sport for today, then there's more for you to access all across the BBC today. Up next on BBC Two, it's Rugby League as Leeds take on Wakefield in a match that will remember the inspirational and great Rob Burrow. And it's the Champions League final tonight. Of course, you can listen from 8 p.m. On BBC Sounds, and there are highlights on BBC One tonight at 11 o'clock. But there we are. That's about it. We've got to wrap it up now, Sam. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. We're so grateful for your company and all of your knowledge as well. Beth, as always, thanks for your company too. So more medals. There's still more room for improvements and upgrades to routines. The GB Gymnastics juggernaut rolls on. From all of us here, from Craig and Christine in the commentary box too, it's goodbye. Bye-bye.
Welcome to the European Gymnastics Championship in Leipzig. The men's team crowned European champions in the team final. Great Britain finished with the silver medal. Oh yes! Look at that! Silver for Harry Hepworth. European champion for the hat-trick, Luke Whitehouse.